ideal weather conditions for late September. There was a threat of rain earlier in the day, but a full house here and no rain in the last few hours here in Morgantown. Joining us on the sidelines tonight is Mark Martin. He has more on the kicking game leading into this one.
Well, Trey, I'll tell you what, last week an interesting story developed when young Tyler Warner out of nearby Parkersburg, West Virginia, was told 15 minutes before kickoff that he would be Marshall's kicker. All he does is go out and hit both field goal attempts, all 4 field goals, and handled all 7 kickoffs attempts. And he's going to be a guy that will factor into today's game as he gets his second start for the Herd. On the other side, Pat McAfee, considered one of the great dual threat kickers in the country, both as a punter and as a place kicker after the Ray Guy Award and the Luke Rosa Award. And he's a guy, though, coming off a tough game against Colorado, missed a field goal in overtime, but he said he's been in a rearview mirror, and like all great kickers, he is ready for the next big kick. Guys, great to be with you here in this 3rd installment of the Friends of Cobalt. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Mark, it's going to be a lot of fun. And how about a senior and a freshman put into the spotlight here in this in-state rivalry? One of the great rivalries in college football that doesn't get talked about enough. It's the 8th meeting, but they have had some interesting clashes through the years. A lot of gold in the seats. A full house here at Mountaineer Field. The Mountaineers 1-2 to start things, coming off a tough loss at Colorado. And West Virginia is a team trying to get that swagger back. Marshall, meanwhile, off to a 3-1 start. This is a great setting, ideal setting for college football.
Very exciting, and to tell you what, you have 2 teams that really are fighting for something. Marshall, of course, fighting for, that extra win and maybe to the next step, and West Virginia really needs this win.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game, Renee. What are they? First for Mark Snyder.
Well, for Marshall, get him down, tackle in space. Patrick White and Noel Devine touch the ball quite a bit, and they haven't faced anyone like Noel Devine. Can build confidence in a young quarterback, no turnovers, and give him some time from the offensive line. And let the players play. Need playmakers. Slate, Marshall, and Passmore. Let them become playmakers.
And on the other sideline, Bill Stewart and the Mountaineers.
Find the rhythm. Get into a flow. Finish drives. You need a new hero. Patrick White and Noel Devine have stepped up. You need somebody like a Jock Sanders to carry their portion and contain, rush, and pass more. You got to watch Darius pass more, but you have to throw the ball vertically down the field and contain the run, which Marshall does very well.
Bill Stewart, a West Virginia native. Joy for the game. Class act on and off the field. And this Friends of Coal Bowl in its 3rd year in Morgantown this year after a victory by the Mountaineers in Huntington last year. And West Virginia will get the football first as you're looking at Noel Devine, the dangerous deep man. Ellis Lancaster is also back there with him. Deep safeties. Marshall in the white, the visitors. We are underway from Mountaineer Field. And it's going to be Devine at the 5-yard line. And he's hit hard as he's knocked down at the 24. Mark Rogers was back on the return for the Mountaineers, and that's where West Virginia will start first down after a 19-yard return. There's been so much talk about Pat White, 81 career touchdowns, 3rd in Big East history. There are the completion numbers. Has a very tight spiral, the ball he throws. Last year, 6th in the Heisman voting. Arguably the top quarterback in college football, but his team trying to put some pieces together. They played for good moments in that loss at Colorado, but ended up losing in overtime. They did get the rushing game going. They'd like to do that, get back to the old West Virginia way of doing things. They're going to throw on first down. Alric Arnett, the receiver, across the 35, and he has a first down catch for the Mountaineers to the 37. 13 on the pickup on the first play.
Great block by Jock Sanders on that last play. Helped him get down the field.
Let's take a look at the guys up front. Mike Dent is a Remington watch list candidate at that center spot. He anchors him up front.
First and 10. Ball on the 37.
Noel Devine, small back, explosive. He's tough to bring down. He's first team all-conference candidate in the Big East. Good start for White, going to the air. Ball now at the 37-yard line. They send Jarrett Brown, who doubles as a backup quarterback, in motion. We'll see a lot of him today. Swing it out to Brown. Makes one man miss, not the second, and he's cut down right near the line of scrimmage. The Marshall defense. They're getting better up front. Ian Hoskins, a 3-year starter. It's his 3rd position in his career. Brandon Burns, tall linebacker on the edge. He can really blow up a lot of plays on the toss sweeps. And in the secondary, they love the play of C.J. Spillman, preseason first-team All-Conference USA. There's a look at Albert McClellan. He's preseason first-team All-Conference and they hope will be a factor after winning Conference Player of the Year honors 2 years ago. On 2nd down and 11, straight ahead, it's Devine, breaks a tackle, and he squirts his way up to the 43-yard line. Close to 5 yards, Spillman on the tackle for the herd.
And that's where the game is going to be won or lost up front with Capers, Figner, Dent, Isdaner, and Stanchek. They'll not only protect Patrick White, but open up holes, hopefully, for West Virginia from their perspective. But you mentioned a little bit about McClellan. They will spy with McClellan on Pat White. You need someone to have accountable for number 5, Patrick White.
Here's a look at the big guys up front. See Greg Istander, the 322-pound junior, and there's the center Dent, 2-year starter at that spot. Pennsylvania native. 3rd down from the 43. White keeps it, has a first down midfield. He's into the secondary and down to the herd 42-yard line. So quick, Spillman, the free safety, finally got to him.
And one thing, Marshall has gone to the nickel package each and every time. You see that read spread option. He just cuts it back, sees the hole on the weak side, and just outstanding running by Patrick White, what he does best.
And his ability at 6'1" to just break away from people. From the 42-yard line, they'll go twin backs this time as White looks to the sideline for the play call. Offensive coordinator Jeff Mullen setting things up. 3 receivers from the gun. White, 6'1" across the middle. Catch made, and it's a first down grab. It's hauled in by Alric Arnett, the junior from Belgrade, Florida. He's a big target.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 195. His 6th grab, he does a deep square in and a nice throw by Patrick White. And the most important thing, Trey, is he ran right beyond the sticks, knows where the first down marker was. First down, West Virginia, and they have a nice drive going here, taking in the opening kickoff.
Arnett's first 2 college catches went for touchdowns against Villanova. Ball at the 27. West Virginia on the move. White looking good through the air on the early going. Marshall showing blitz now. 5 in the box. Hand off to Devine running left. And he gets 4 yards down to the 23-yard line. James Burks, the junior defensive tackle on the stop. There's a look at Devine, just 5'8". His thing is he likes to outwork everybody. He thinks he can outwork the next guy, and small in stature, big in heart.
Well, you know, he's very, very strong, stronger than you think. He bench presses over 400 pounds, so don't be surprised by his small stature.
2nd and 6. This time a single running back. Devine to the left of White, who takes the shotgun snap. Here's Sanders. Sanders in the clear for a moment inside the 15, and he's down to the 12. Jock Sanders, a guy you've got to know where he is everywhere on the field. That's his 13th catch on the year. Mario Harvey on the tackle.
Throw the bubble screen and right out to Jock Sanders, and they need someone to step up. Patrick White delivers the ball. Nice check on the edge there by the wide receiver, and just outstanding running. Good block as well downfield by Mike Dent coming from his center position. Nice drive by Patrick White. He has confidence right now.
Sanders with a 12-yard reception. He's their leading receiver as a sophomore. 8th play of this drive. There's what they've done in the red zone. Very effective this year. They have not been good in 3rd and short situations. Let's see on first down what they do. It's an end around to Sanders. Trying to get to the edge. He's to the 5, and he's run out of bounds to the 4-yard line. C.J. Spillman on the tackle. Will Johnson, the fullback, tight end, led the way with a good block.
He is very versatile, a converted fullback. Number 6, Will Johnson, now lines up as an H-back fullback or tight end. Good block right here, just seals that outside, allowing Jock Sanders to get to the edge. Also on the edge, nice block by Alric Arnett. Inside the 5-yard line, they are banging on the door.
2nd and 3. They have Johnson in a slot to the right of White. Devine to his left. It's a handoff to Devine, trying to run wide. To the pylon, he's in. Touchdown, West Virginia. The stretch play, they went from one side of the field all the way to the other, and the Mountaineers strike first.
And no Devine, outstanding running along with Jock Sanders, but Patrick White has really managed this offense in the opening drive. Good blocking up front. You see there, inside handoff, a pull, and kick out right there by the tackles. That's Figner with a good block for him, and Noel Devine into the breaking the scoring drought here in the opening drive.
His first rushing touchdown on the young season. They go 76 yards in 9 plays, and the extra point by McAfee is through there. Impressive drive for the Mountaineers, mixing run and pass effectively. Devine finds the end zone on the sweep. 7-0 home team. Seven 7-0 Mountaineers. 4 plays of 10+ yards on a 76-yard drive to strike first. There's a look at it. Noel Devine capping it off with a touchdown run. Believe it or not, his first of the season. They have got the running game going at Colorado, and a good start on their opening series, mixing run and pass.
You know, he ran with very good vision on that last touchdown run, Trey, and that's something that comes with maturity. You know, as he came out of Florida, he had over 6,800 yards for his career, but he's running as a more mature running back.
McAfee to kick it away. Darius Marshall 3 yards deep for the Thundering Herd. Marshall following some blockers across the 30, and a nice return for Marshall. They'll start at the 33-yard line. 36 yards on that kickoff return. Marshall, a team playing with a lot of confidence, coming off a road victory at Southern Miss in rainy conditions, and they're hoping to keep the train rolling with a 3-1 record. Mark Cann, the redshirt freshman, has been sensational. A poised quarterback, first-year guy, southpaw with a strong arm, and his numbers have been very good. He's been battle-tested the last couple games against Memphis and then Southern Miss. Single back is Marshall. They'll go 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. And a penalty flag comes in before the snap of the football.
Late game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's our lead referee, Gerard McGinn. Hostile environment he saw at the Rock at Southern Miss. As we look at the offensive line, Brian Leggett, 3-year starter. He moved to center this year after playing guard for this team the previous 2 seasons. Darius Marshall, 3 of 4 games over 100 yards rushing. He needs to be a factor today. There's a look at Leggett, 283-pounder from Meridian, Mississippi. First down, 15 now. First snap, pass over the middle, and a catch made by the tailback Marshall, and he gets the yardage back and then a little bit more up to the 39. Defensively for West Virginia, Scooter Berry is their anchor up front, playing the defensive end spot. He's also played tackle. Reed Williams, their inspirational leader, academic All-American, coming back from injury. And in the secondary, Ellis Langster may be playing next year at the next level. They really love him at the cornerback. There's a look at Williams. Missed the first 2 games of the season. Off-season shoulder surgery on both shoulders. Tough customer, and he's ready for this rivalry game. On second down, toss pitch. Marshall trying to cut it back. Guess who's there? Reed Williams for a loss of a yard back to the 39.
Tackled by Reed Williams.
Well, you know, there's a different defense with number 47 in the lineup. He grew up on a farm throwing bales of hay. Now he's throwing running backs around, and he just comes in from his middle linebacker. It just feels playing off the block of 73 Tillman, and just, that was a picture book tackle.
Fiesta Bowl defensive MVP, 9 tackles in that big victory over Oklahoma. He'll bring it on every play. Third down from the 39. Initial series for Marshall. West Virginia took it 76 yards on their opening drive. Emmanuel Spann in motion. Cann over the head of his intended receiver, the tight end Slate, and a lot of mustard on that one. They'll have to punt it away.
And Slate was in single coverage with Reed Williams, and you see he had a little time here, but just threw it a little too tall. I think he was over anxious, but Slate was certainly open. Had he caught that pass, turned up the field for a big gain, but now punting situation for Marshall. Good defensive effort by West Virginia.
Let's look at Ellis Langster, the senior from Whistler, Alabama. They love his speed in the open field, doubling as a corner and as their punt returner. First year as their returner, had a 36-yard return against Colorado last week. The punt away by Case Whitehead, the freshman. Fumbles the football, Langster coughs it up, and Marshall might have it. Do they have it? They do, at the 6-yard line. recovered by the Marshall Thundering Herd. Chubb Small jumping on it, and a big mistake early from the Mountaineers.
Wow, what a big play. Special teams and turnovers, and this is a big turnover early in the game as Marshall just punts it away, gets the ball back in outstanding field position, and Langston just had an eye on the ball. He just took it off for a second. Chubb with outstanding coverage, picking up the ball inside, right outside the 5-yard line, and wow, Marshall's going to be in good field position now.
46-yard punt, the fumble recovered by Small, the senior, and now the West Virginia defense will have to tighten up the chin straps with the ball at the 6-yard line. He's looking at what the Thundering Herd have done in the red zone this year.
It's under review.
They're going to review this one. Did he gain possession before going out of bounds? We'll take a look. Ellis Langston, the fumble. Chubb Small went after the football on the sideline. Here's a look.
You see, he had a good chance to look at this, and there was no distraction. He just tried to run before he had the ball, and Chubb Small was down in good coverage. And you see another angle from right here. Great camera work from the truck, and Langston just tried to run before he had possession of the ball, and big mistake. Could be a costly mistake early in the game.
Now the question is where the ball is. The feet were on the green area. Here's another angle. Looks like he has the ball. Now it's got to be inconclusive to overturn this one. The call on the field was a fumble recovery. Great look right there, and that appears that he has the football at the 6.
He looks like he did. In fact, as long as he landed on the turf before he went out of bounds. Shoulder right there shows he did have possession.
Play stands. The official ruling is in. We understand before we get the official call here from the lead ref.
After review, the receiver touched the ball and then was recovered by the kicking team. The play stands as called. It's confirmed. First down, Marshall.
Gerard McGinn confirming what it looks like was obvious after seeing it from several different angles. The right call.
It was the right call, and good coverage by Marshall, and we'll see if West Virginia's defense can stand up and face an adversity here early in the game. Marshall really needs a score to kind of turn things around right now and kind of be a reward. Certainly, this would help his confidence. 4 lost fumbles for Bill Stewart's team. They'll go 4 receivers, single back. Mark Cann trying to get him on the board. It's the tight end, Lee Smith. Flag is thrown. Smith fighting for the goal line. He's in, but there's a flag in the vicinity of the Marshall backfield. And it's coming back.
And it's 73. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Ryan Tillman, number 73, the left tackle, may be the culprit for Marshall, which negates a touchdown, Lee Smith. But that was a good call. Little screen to the tight end, and shows that Marshall has a pair of tight ends capable of hurting any defense, Slate and Smith.
Tillman, a young kid. Their tackles are both redshirt freshmen. His first year on the field, didn't play last year. Hargrave Military Academy. Big error there. Holding penalty all the way back to the 17 now. First and goal from that point. Trips right this time as they send the tight end Slate in motion. Pitch to the short side of the field. Marshall hit on and knocked out of bounds. Big play by Ellis Langston, and they rave about this kid. The senior is a special one at the cornerback spot.
He originally signed with UAB. He lost 20 pounds in the offseason, helped his quickness, and this is a big-time hit right here. Lowers his head and just knocks Marshall. Stops him in his track. Good play by the cornerback, Ellis Langston.
Junior college All-American at Jones County out of Mississippi.
Hails from Whistler, Alabama. A lot of Southern recruits on both these teams.
Cann now, and a second and goal from the 17. Changing up the play at the line with a couple receivers. Send a pass more in motion in front of him, and now a timeout's called. Snap of the football. They're not going to. Are they going to get the timeout called? They are. And they'll blow this play dead.
Marshall, the first charge, timeout of the half.
Turned around after calling the timeout. The ball came back, but they get the timeout to talk it over. Cody Slate, one of the best tight ends in America, hoping to be a factor down near the goal line. Right now, Mountaineers up 7-0. Mark Cann coming off his best game of victory at Southern Miss last week, facing a second and goal from the 17 for Marshall, trying to cash in after a punt return fumble off the hands of Ellis Langston. They were near the goal line. A penalty backs him up as they send Bryant Milligan in motion. Can setting up, firing for the corner, nobody there, and it's incomplete. Couple Mountaineers in the vicinity. Scooter Berry on the rush. Brandon Hogan was back there with Robert Sands, the two DBs closest to the ball.
There was a misread. The wide receiver just broke off of his route, and the closest person was a gold-shirted West Virginia Mountaineer. And it's lucky they just got away with that non-interception.
Passmore, a guy that has 4.3 40 speed, and he's long at 6'3". Give him a chance here in the end zone.
Well, you know, he's the go-to guy. Leads the nation with 26 grabs, and he is capable of a big play. You certainly have to think of number one in a situation like this.
They send Slate in motion to Passmore's side. There's a look at third downs. There's Slate in the corner, but it's over his head and incomplete. He was open, but Can missed him. Had too much on the football.
Out and up. And Slate is a guy who's got great hands. He is a defensive nightmare, a matchup. Big guy, 6'4", 220, runs very good. As you see, he just comes off the run right there and straight down the field, just a little too long, and he wouldn't have caught up with that anyway, out of bounds, but big play opportunity there. Slate was wide open.
34-yard attempt for the guy we talked about in the open, Tyler Warner, the freshman from Parkersburg, West Virginia, 2 for 2 in rainy conditions last week at Southern Miss, trying to get him on the board, and the kick is through there.
Kick is good.
So Marshall cashes in off the fumbled punt. They only get 3 after the Lankster fumble, but Warner delivers and stays perfect on the season. 7:33 to go, first quarter. Coach Schneider's team down 7-3. 7-3 Mountaineers. Pat White has been very good. They've tried to get some other people to step up, and they did on their initial drive. Jock Sanders did the job.
Southpaw from St. Petersburg, Florida, his 13th grab right here, and they're getting him more involved. You got to get him 12 to 13 touches a game. He's very exciting. He gets to the second level, and this is a handoff which is him knocking on the door. Jock Sanders following his block. Good block on the corner by Arnett. And the next play was the touchdown by Sanders. But boy, I tell you what, Sanders are by Noel Devine. But Sanders is that weapon, and they need someone different than Patrick White, Noel Devine this game.
7-3 game, a miscue on special teams leading to a Marshall field goal. Warner's kick, it will be Rogers at the 5-yard line. Hit hard, hit a second time at the 22, keeps his feet, and moves forward to the 23-yard line. Tackle is made by Kevin Perry, the sophomore defensive back. And West Virginia will go to work, looking so good on that initial series, and they really mixed up the run and pass.
They really did. Patrick White expertly ran that read option. But, you know, you got to give a tip of the hat to Marshall. They could have folded their attempt, came up with 3 points. You'd like to hope from their perspective they would come up with 7, but 3 is better than 0, and it brings the game a little more manageable.
White will go 4 receivers as they empty the backfield this time. Plenty of time. Throws to the sideline. The catch made by Tito Gonzalez, a senior. They'll say no catch now at the 30-yard line. His first incomplete pass. We're at Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia. Rivalry game, 8th meeting all time between these rivals. Alongside Renee Nato on the field, Mark Martin. I'm Trey Bender. Glad you're with us. This is a rivalry that has heated up, especially this year with Marshall a chance to go 4-1. West Virginia trying to get some of that mojo back. They're 1-2 after a tough loss in overtime to Colorado in their last game. Mountaineers scored on their first series. Second possession, screen, catch made by Jala, the senior from Greensboro, North Carolina. Nifty moves, and he's close to a first down at the 33-yard line. He's dangerous at that slot spot, his 6th catch of the year.
He's worked hard in the offseason. Very, very powerful guy. Good hands. I want you to watch this block by number 9 if you see it. Right here, this chop. Bang, right there. Takes out a Marshall player, allows Jala to get up the field. So Jock Sanders catching, running, and now blocking. Good play by Jala and good throw by White.
Aaron Johnson, the strong safety on the tackle. Big front wall. Mike Dent, Istainer, they're both over 300 pounds. Figner has 9 straight starts at that right guard spot. Here's a end around, double reverse, and they fumble the football, and Marshall appears to have it at the 27. No, West Virginia gets it back.
Covered by West Virginia.
A double reverse, and it almost backfires. Capers, the right tackle, jumped on it.
Selfish Capers, former high school tight end. is in his blocking, and just a double reverse, not a very clean handoff. And White didn't hand it off. He just kind of threw it back there. It wasn't a very clean handoff, and Selfish Capers peeling back for a block happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Renee, Johnny Jones had that football for a moment, the defensive tackle, and could not control it, and Capers saves the football for the Mountaineers. 2nd down and 16 now. Single back this time for White. He'll run the football, gets a block across the 33, and he's cut down there. Maurice Kitchens, the middle linebacker, their leading tackler on the play.
White has that football IQ. He sees a lot of things that a normal runner or quarterback does not see. He's seen it all since his freshman season. He's not a big guy, Trey. He's about 185 pounds, but very durable. He's taken some hits and carried the ball. And, you know, I like to think certainly at the next level next year, he'll get a long look-see as a quarterback. He's certainly a great athlete.
This has been a concern. You see it there, just 12 of 34 on 3rd downs, and this is 3rd and long, 3rd and 9, just across the 33-yard line. Pressure coming. White zips one over the middle. Catch made short of the 1st down by Sanders as he's cut down by Aaron Johnson, the strong safety. And 4th down coming up. Let's go down to Mark with more on White.
Well, all the great ones do it, guys, and that is to improve. Pat White called college football's most dynamic player by today's 2 coaches, yet he knows there are ways to get better. The passing game was one such way. New offensive coordinator Jeff Mullen and head coach Bill Stewart wanted to see more passing so White could also offset that tremendous running ability. And so far this season, the stats haven't been eye-popping, but they say he's doing all the things that he wants to do. And also this season, he's being a good big brother because younger brother Coley is also a member of the Mountaineer football program now, guys.
White, a great leader, great leadership qualities. McAfee under duress gets that punt away, bounces inside the 20, and down at the 12-yard line. I think West Virginia thought there was some contact there. Wesley Derville downs it, 48-yard punt.
Is ruled down at the 11-yard
Span
line.
and Small were the deep safeties, and Bill Stewart's team will go on defense now.
Good pressure from the Thundering Herd.
Did this hit a Herd's player's foot on this play?
That's why you have to get away. Very close call here, as when the ball is coming down, coaches tell their players to get out of the way if you're not going to catch it. And that was a very close call that could have been costly to the Thundering Herd.
Cannon Company will go to work, but before they do, we have a whistle. Stoppage play here from the 13-yard line.
Previous play is under review.
So they're going to take a look at this. Did it hit the Marshall player's foot? If so, it's West Virginia football. The ball was down by Derville at the 12. He could have let it hop inside the 5-yard line, but decided to grab it, thinking it did hit a Marshall player. Here it is.
Real close call. Great camera work as he's trying to get out of the way, and boy, you just have to get away. That was Maxwell.
Chris Maxwell, yep.
And he's just blocking or just getting downfield, ready to block, and you know, didn't know where the ball was coming from as McAfee was under great duress, pressure.
So Bill Stewart hoping for a break here on special teams after his team fumbled one away on a punt return to set up a Marshall field goal. Here's another angle.
It's going to be hard from this perspective to reverse this because it's not clear. It's not unquestionable that it did hit him.
After review, play stands as called on the field. 1st and 10 for Marshall. Cannot determine whether the ball hit the receiver's heel or not.
So Marshall will have the football, and Coach Schneider's team will go to work from their 13-yard line.
I think we'll get a large dose of Darius Marshall, his 14th start here, and they compare his skills to Ahmad Bradshaw's. Now is in attendance here today. Plays for the New York Giants with a year he had last year for the world champion Giants.
Can's going to go to the air, gets it into Passmore's hands, and he gets short yardage up to the 19-yard line. Robert Sands, the free safety, on the tackle. They really set up a wall for Passmore to try to get something to develop on the far side.
Both teams with outstanding blocking by their wide receivers. Boy, you see Slate right there, and also downfield, that's Milligan blocking for Passmore. That's a Slate block right there. Milligan, number 23. You can see him in the corner of your top of the screen. Good blocking for Passmore. That's something that's an art, a lost art. You don't see a lot of good blocking by wide receivers in college.
Pickup of 7, they say, just shy of the 19. Hand off to Marshall, picking his way ahead. He's hit, spins out of one tackle, and maybe a yard, and that's about it. Marshall runs hard. Sophomore from Milledgeville, Georgia, coming off a 112-yard performance at Southern Miss. Hogan and Andrews, the safeties, double on the tackle. Let's look at his numbers.
Nice 4.5 yards per tote. He had 80 yards, 11 carries last year against West Virginia. Seems like these two teams bring out the best in one another when they face off.
3rd and 1. Does Marshall get his number called here? They'll send Passmore as the split end to the bottom of the screen. Slate in motion. Marshall hit, breaks the tackle, and it's close. I think that second effort, that last lunge, got him the first down across the 24-yard line. Brandon Hogan, the sophomore corner, on the play.
And the defensive backs, they come fill very well for West Virginia as Darius Marshall just bounced it outside. Coming up to fill is, you mentioned Hogan, along with J.T. Thomas, but I don't think that was a nice play. Outstanding run.
Didn't get it by a whole lot, but they get it. The Herd will keep the football. Toss sweep left side, Marshall cuts it back, and he drives forward to the 26. That cutback ability there wasn't a lot available. He still picked up 3 yards on the run. Reed Williams was there on the tackle.
When they run that toss sweep, Trey, basically, you know, the blocking is outside, and it opens up some inside cutback lanes, and it takes a good vision to recognize where those running lanes are. Sometimes the holes are not going to be in the outside when it's going to be a sweep. They're more so designed for a cutback run.
Now Marshall will check out as you look at the middle linebacker, the heart and soul of that West Virginia D, Reed Williams. Marshall out. Chubb Small is in at the tailback spot here on 2nd down. Flips it out behind Slate, and that's going to be ruled a lateral. The official marking it back near the 23-yard line behind Slate. Dangerous pass and well off the mark.
And, you know, it looks like, you know, Can's delivery, he's just releasing the ball a little bit high. He's not stepping into his throws and releasing at a very high point. This is why you have to step into your throws. This is mechanics. It can be worked on, but it's you know, a young player, and it may be a little nervousness, anxiousness, want to make a big play.
They've got a lot of big playmakers. They need a big play here on 3rd and 11. And I think West Virginia might have jumped across the line. Can's throw to the tight end incomplete. Wanted Slate. The flag back at the 22. It looked like Larry Ford, the sophomore defensive end, jumped through.
On the defense, number 92. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So Renee, this makes it much more manageable now. 3rd down and about 6.
And don't think they won't go back to that matchup with Kent Richardson in single coverage against Cody Slate. It's a mismatch. So you look once again at that matchup as Cody Slate runs that sideline route. He takes the outside and just waiting for the pass. Nice throw, just couldn't bring it down. Could have been out of bounds anyway, but they'll go back to that matchup, you're going to bet.
Slate is on the line. There he is at the bottom of the screen at the tight end spot. They have 3 receivers split right. On 3rd and 6, catch made by Slate. 1st down and more across the 45, and he rumbles to the 46-yard line. They go to Slate, who has been their leading receiver the last 2 years. Robert Sands on the tackle.
Slate with 66 grabs last year. This is a Jeremy Shockey kind of run, you know, right across, just a drag right across the middle. Slate collects it in, breaks a pair of tackles, and into the secondary. He gets to the secondary very, very quickly. Again, 4.5 speed, outstanding speed for a tight end, and outstanding skills, and recognizes the defense quickly. 17-yard
pickup. They go to the run game. The toss sweep to Marshall. Cuts it back and gets some positive yardage. Keeps the legs turning up to the 49. Looked like a short gain. He turns it into about 4 on that carry. You know, you've got a guy like Marshall, and then Slate and Passmore, they've got some weapons. You got to know where these guys are. They can hurt you in a lot of ways.
You know, and Darius Marshall goes to the sidelines. He's replaced by Chubb Small, a little bit quicker, a little faster version in the backfield. But the guy you got to watch, and again, you have to scheme, is Passmore.
This time they go bunch set. 4 receivers. Slate is in a slot now. They've got the tight end with 3 other receivers at the bottom. And Can on 2nd down. Goes to the far side, incomplete. Wanted Bryant Milligan. And pass a little bit too tall. Coverage applied by Brandon Hogan.
Good play by Hogan, and the ball was just to his outside shoulder, had been more inside. I think he may have collected that. Calling for a third down, and Can calls for a big play right now. Needs a big run, and you know, you got to think Slate will be an option. Pass more on a slant. Goes to open backfield, empty backfield.
There's Passmore, the nation's leader in receiving yardage. Great speed. 2 for 4 so far today. Can has protection, sips it, it's tipped and almost picked off. Through the hands of Passmore, J.T. Thomas, the sophomore weak side linebacker, almost came up with the interception.
Ball arrived a little early. Passmore running right on the seam, a curl, and Can delivers the ball. He was the first option. Passmore, he looked at him the whole time, and Passmore curled right inside the seam, almost intercepted. Incomplete punting situation, but he is getting bumped, and you can bet that that is one thing that West Virginia wants to do. Just pound on Passmore, see how tough he is. Either step up to the challenge or make him make plays when he's being hit on every play.
Case Whitehead gets his punt away from the 40. Jock Sanders calling for fair catch, and he makes it at the 4. Normally you say let that one bounce. He opts to make the catch. 46-yard punt, and Case Whitehead pins him deep. And that's where the Mountaineers will have it, up by 4 points here late in the first quarter. 4 minutes on that drive, no points, but now a chance for the defense to kind of pin him back there and get the ball back.
Well, you know, this will see if Patrick White can work his magic in the waning seconds of the first quarter. But Marshall is certainly in this game, just trailing by 4 points. A big defensive stop here certainly could turn things around for the Green. And Coach Snyder knows he's still in this game.
Noel Devine in the backfield. They have not had good field position through the first quarter, starting their deepest on this series, and a handoff to Devine. A flag is thrown behind the play, and this could be coming back as Devine takes it out to the 10-yard line.
Holding on the offense, number 66. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's Selvish Capers, the right tackle.
In his 9th start out of St. Augustine in New Orleans. Good look at him right there. Former tight end at St. Augustine High School. Good basketball player in high school. His team won the national championship one year, and he was part of that.
You know, they've got a couple good tackles. Capers the more athletic at the right tackle spot. Stanchek on the left side, 37 straight starts. He's an All-America candidate.
Well, you know, you're going to see a couple of these guys. We talked about this in pregame, Trey. You're going to see perhaps in the next 2 years as many as 25 or 30 guys from both these teams playing on Sunday.
That was the final play of the first quarter. An interesting matchup here in Morgantown, West Virginia. A long drive for the Mountaineers to get on the board. Marshall answers. They've got him backed up near the goal line. Second quarter coming up. A picturesque setting, Morgantown, West Virginia, late September. It's college football season, and we've got a good one. Rivalry matchup, West Virginia-Marshall, 8th meeting all time. This is developing into a very good rivalry, and the game is not disappointed thus far.
Not at all. In fact, he has some big plays. Special teams looks like it'll play a big role in this game, and it's far from over. 4 points separating both these teams. Patrick White has worked some magic thus far, and I think once Can settles down a little bit, he'll be fine.
Well, we saw what the Mountaineers can do rushing the football and mixing in the pass on a 76-yard drive. There's a look at what they've done, the big play ability, getting guys like Sanders involved, Noel Devine, and of course Pat White, but they're backed up here as they try to throw the football on the sideline, and not a lot available that time. Marshall with an opportunity here to really get some good field position out of this, and they feel like you know, they've got some confidence now. Even though they got a turnover for points, they moved the football a little bit on their last drive.
Yeah, they really did, and they didn't come away with the 7 points, but 3's better than 7 from Marshall's perspective. You're going to see a lot of press coverage from both cornerbacks on both sides. They want to beat up a little bit on Passmore, and you may see Marshall play very tight, not only on the pass, but they want to stay close to the line defending against Pat White.
Bill Stewart said he wanted to be physical today and really dictate some things with that physical nature. Second down and 11 for the Mountaineers. Football inside the 5-yard line. Handed off to Devine, trying to get to the edge, and he's run out of bounds short of the first down across the 10-yard line. Pickup of 5 on that play. It'll set up a third down from there.
Good inside handoff to Noel Devine, and he just hits the corner, but you know, they take the short field away from him. Good reaction quickly by T.J. Drakeford, just a freshman cornerback, but boy, I tell you what, Coach Snyder feels very strongly about Drakeford and Bembry, a pair of freshmen fuzzy-cheeked freshmen, but he said they're not playing scared on the corners, and he's very excited about their future.
Just underway, second quarter, big 3rd and 4 for the Mountaineers. And here is Jarrett Brown, and he has a first down. We thought we'd see a lot of Brown, according to Bill Stewart. He mentioned it. They'll use him in different ways. Wasn't sure how, whether it was short yardage, but here on a 3rd and 4, picks up a big first down.
Good athlete. He's also excels for the basketball on a basketball court as well on a hardwood. Just go through a gaping hole. You and I could have walked through that hole, but Jarrett Brown with good vision. He will be the future. Next year, he'll be lining up behind center for the Mountaineers.
Backup quarterback, and he gives them that physical presence at the running back spot, something they need at 6'4" and 220. Here's White on the keeper. Flag is thrown, and he's driven out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and this appears to be coming back.
Flag on the play.
Might have caught July.
Holding on the offense. Number 21. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Penalties a factor here in the early going. They will back him up after what was close to a 10-yard gain for Bill Stewart's team.
You know, July fills that role that Darius Reynaud, now playing for the Minnesota Vikings, has filled. You see, just got a handful of white jersey coming back, but Patrick White following Jock Sanders, blocking for him. And Patrick White, good vision, good broken field running as a quarterback.
They move the football back to the 14. First down and 17 now for the Mountaineers. Play fake and the keeper, and not a lot available for Jarrett Brown, who gets his second carry up to the 16, and it sets up a 3rd down. And interesting move here with Brown and White on the field at the same time.
Well, you know, you get two good athletes on the field. You really, Jarrett Brown, he's so good. He's too good to sit on the sidelines, but also when he's in the backfield, he's taking snaps. White can be out as a slot guy, as a wide receiver, and nothing else. He just draws attention from the Marshall defense. You have to account for Patrick White, even if he doesn't touch the ball.
So the penalty, then the play, second down from the 16-yard line now. White to throw, and that's knocked down, and it is caught by a West Virginia lineman. And that is the second time that Selvish Capers has saved the day. Recovers a fumble, and then he, it's going to be a flag, but he recovers it off the deflection.
There's no penalty on the flag, on the play. The ball was tipped, therefore an ineligible receiver can catch the ball. 3rd down.
Ball's bouncing around. You know who's going to get it here.
Selfish Capers moved from tight end in 2007, but he goes back to his tight end days. Quick hands, huh? Boy, he'd like to coach. Give me 86. Let me go back on the line again and be a tight end, run some routes. He can run those seam routes and things, but Selfish Capers, good looking and good athlete.
It's a loss, though, back to the 14. They send Sanders in motion this time. White, quick drop, looking to run. Quarterback draw all the way across the 20. And he gets some of the real estate back, but still well shy of the first down. Up to the 24-yard line, Albert McClellan, the defensive end, chasing him down. Big 250-pounder.
And McClellan's a guy, again, who's not going to be far. When Patrick White is running, he'll be close to him. He is a guy who's going to spy a lot. And right behind him, there's number 96, finishing him off. A 4th down. Mountaineers going to have to punt it away.
And again, 2 receivers back deep, Span and Small for Marshall. McAfee on the Ray Guy Award watch list, has gone through some trials in the kicking game as a place kicker, but has been very solid punting the football. Gets this kick away, and it's a line drive. It's a boomer. Span back at the 10-yard line. Nice open field tackle made. It's Trip Hale, the redshirt sophomore, that knocks him down 63 off the foot of McAfee.
Trip Hale was one of those kamikaze guys and made a good tackle that time.
Special teams plays big in the early going. How about this one by Trip Hale? 7-3 Mountaineers. West Virginia 2-1 advantage in terms of time of possession so far. They have a 7-3 lead. Marshall, though, has the football at the 14-yard line after a punt. Mark Can just 3 of 8 passing for 36 yards, trying to get his team on track. Play fake. Left-hander going deep. Wants Passmore. Can't come up with it at the West Virginia 45. Ellis Langster on the coverage. And that's what this team will do. and their offensive coordinator, John Shannon. They'll mix it up. They set up that play with some short passes earlier.
Speed versus speed. He does a nice move here. Good defensive effort. He's going to try to take the inside away from him. Good closing speed by Langster, but he's running that post pattern and hit a little help underneath. And they said they are going to bracket Passmore. They're going to keep him covered high and low to make sure he doesn't come back and burn you. But you need to keep two guys an eye on Passmore.
2nd and 10 now. Can deep drop, little shovel pass. It's Marshall, and he can't get away from Morty Ivy. The strong side linebacker blows that play up, and he is their big play guy, their second leading tackler.
Morty Ivy reacts to the ball, and that's one thing that West Virginia does very well. Their linebackers run great. J.T. Thomas, Morty Ivy, Reed Williams, and they just react so quickly. Nowhere to run, as you see Scooter Perry cut off the outside here. Marshall does need to spread the ball out a little bit and spread that West Virginia defense.
Now they're going to put Marshall at a receiver, split to the bottom of the screen. 5 receiver look. Slate the tight end in the slot. McCann on third and long over the middle, and that's good enough for the first down. He goes to his tight end. Slate, big play receiver, and you know he's 6'4", 220. But he can run away from you 14 yards on that play.
He's got soft, sweet hands. Does a little curl underneath, and Can goes through his progression. You see he's in single coverage with Ivy. Linebacker against tight end, advantage tight end. And a little push off there, and Slate comes down with it. He always has good games against West Virginia. That's his 9th catch in the last 3 games.
Mackey Award candidate, 2-time conference All-USA pick. Here's a handoff to Marshall now, trying to stretch it to the outside, and he's tracked down after a 4-yard gain at the 30-yard line. J.T. Thomas on the tackle. Great setting, full house. Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia. 2 teams knowing how important this one is. Trey Bender, Renee Nato, Mark Martin, glad to be with you. This is a pivotal game for both schools. Marshall trying to run the record to 4-1. It would really set the table for their Conference USA. And West Virginia 1-2 reeling after losses at East Carolina and at Colorado in overtime, trying to get that swagger back. 5-yard run by Marshall, 2nd and 5. Can rolling all kinds of time. Downfield tipped and incomplete. He wanted Passmore near the 50-yard line. Langster there on the coverage. Let's go on the field. Here's Mark with more on Can.
Well, guys, in talking with Marshall head coach Mark Snyder this week, he discussed the growth of this redshirt freshman quarterback Mark Can in his first 4 games. All Marshall, he's developed a great relationship with former Herd standout Chad Pennington, and Snyder feels that he has the same type of maturity that Pennington did back in the day. And, you know, Mark Can wears number 10, and so, too, did Chad Pennington, and still does with the Miami Dolphins.
It's a big number to live up to. Here he is on 3rd down. A flag is thrown, and that ball deflected and almost intercepted. Morty Ivy had a chance to pick that one off, deflected the line of scrimmage. Sidney Glover, the guy that got the hand on it.
On the defense, number 11, 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Glover was offside, so that'll set up a 3rd and short now.
Well, Glover exploded off the edge, and he exploded it because he was about a half a step past the line of scrimmage, but a good defensive effort. You see he's right in the face of Can, right in his face, knocking it up in the air, almost intercepted. Good effort by Ivy, but a manageable 3rd down right here.
3rd down and about a yard. There's the penalty numbers thus far. 4 now against the Mountaineers. Handoff straight ahead, and that's good enough for a first down. Chubb Small, 5'9", 198, and a guy that is a nice change of pace guy behind Marshall. Not a big back, but enough for the first down. Williams on the tackle.
You know, he's described as running hungry. You know, he just eats up yardage, but he runs good yards after contact, good body lean. And the thing about Chubb, he's a little change of pace, a little faster than Darius Marshall. You don't want to see him on the edge. He's dangerous. 74 yards, 9 carries against Rice last year.
Moves the chains with that carry, 39-yard line. 4th first down for Marshall, trying to get something going here. They have 3 points off a turnover, and that's it. Rolling left, Can's throw well over the head of Passmore. Tell you what, Langster has his eye on Passmore, but a lot of guys do. He is drawing all kinds of attention.
You just can't single cover this guy. Again, they'll bracket him, and if he's single coverage, the second defensive back won't be far away. Good look at Mark Snyder right there, former player for the Thundering Herd. Very, very good player he was.
Coach Schneider excited about this team. The carryover from last year. They won 3 of their last 5. 3 conference victories. This year, they've won 3 of 4. The only loss at Wisconsin against a very good football team. They led 14-0 in the early stages of that one. Here's a pass to the tight end, Smith, and that's maybe a yard, and that's it. Reed Williams, the big play. Boy, does he play with passion, Renee. This guy all over the field.
He really does. Very intelligent, academic All-American, and as a picture book tackler. As he was out, they lost the fiery, inspirational leader. He did come back with the Colorado game. Maybe they had a little knock, a little rust off. He's a little back to normal now. But boy, I'd say they can't win or can't do very well without Reed Williams in the lineup.
That's 6 tackles at Colorado. 3rd down. They're 4 of 7 on 3rd downs. 9th play of this drive for the Herd. Five receivers. Can over the middle. Passmore hangs on. Great concentration, and he's taken down at the 46-yard line. He bobbled it, but what concentration to hang on. Ian Smith, the safety on the tackle, 15 yards.
Good coverage here. That defensive back had him wearing him like a pair of spandex shorts. He was tight with that coverage and still found a way to get in here. You see, he just turns. Marty Ivory is as close as you can get, and Passmore finds a way come up with a big catch. Sorry, that was Ian Smith.
Passmore in traffic, showing he can make a play. We know about his big playability on the deep outs. Big one there to move the chains with the 45 now. Pitch to Marshall. Straight ahead, driving inside the 40 for close to 5 yards. Make it 6 on that carry. Looked like the appearance was they're going left, and he ran it up the middle.
Well, he saw a crease cutting back and good blocking up the middle by Leggett and company. But you can see a kick block right here as Slate was coming back, peeling back for a block, but he just saw a crease, hit it quickly, and nice pickup, 5 yards.
They had Matt Parkhurst, another tight end, in a double tight end alignment on that play. 6-yard pickup. Approaching the 6-minute mark. Marshall on the drive. Handoff. Marshall. First down. Down to the West Virginia 33. And they're showing some confidence now in the running game. And John Holmes, the strong side linebacker, tackles him there.
Wood, Altabello, Leggett, and company are doing a good job blocking up front. Good surge off the line of scrimmage and giving him some cavities to run through. Good look at John Holmes right there. Good linebacker, one of the many fine linebackers for West Virginia. Tip of the hat to Marshall's offensive line, doing a good job this series.
It's the first down they have come up with, not on 3rd down. So moving the ball effectively here on this drive now at the Mountaineers 33-yard line. Can the redshirt freshman. Handoff, Marshall. And he can't get out of the tackle. And there's a flag that's thrown on the play. And that was a nice play by Najee Good, but
Personal foul. Face mask on the defense. Number 52. 15-yard penalty, but added on to the end of the run. First down.
Good with the tackle, but he got the cage as well, and that's an automatic 15. Any face mask 15 this year in college football.
They wiped out the 5-yard version, and now everything is 15. Good seal block on the outside by Brandon Campbell, left tackle. And as he's going down, just right there, you can see he had a handle on his face mask. 15-yard penalty. Good field position at the 15-yard line for the Thundering Herd.
There it is, 5 penalties, 37 yards against the Mountaineers. That's a costly one. Football now at the 15-yard line. The Herd looking for the go-ahead score. Stutter step and the run for short yardage by Chubb Small down to the 13. Brandon Hogan on the tackle.
Little change of pace with Small in there, but basically the same plays, no different style. Darius Marshall, Chubb Small. Don't call him Lenford, it's Chubb Small. Birth name given is Lenford, but
I'd change my name too, or get my parents to change it for me.
I don't know a lot of Lenfords, but I know a couple of Chubbs.
Marshall's back in there. 2nd down from the West Virginia 13. Marshall trying to take the lead. Play fake. Firing for the end zone is Can. It's tipped, and it's incomplete. Almost picked off by Lankster. He wanted the tight end, Slate, and that one was up for grabs. Sidney Glover was back there.
Big target, tries to go over the top and put too much air under the ball. Gave time to the defensive back to react to this. Looks like Smith, big 6'6" target, former Tennessee transfer, as Can just felt pressure coming from the outside as Quentin Andrews, pressure and good break on the ball by number 11, Sidney Glover, swatted away, incomplete. Third down, need a big play here for the Thundering Herd.
This could be a statement drive. 15th play of this drive. They've gobbled up over 6 minutes, and now a timeout is called by Marshall. 4:43 to go. Mark Can doing a nice job managing things for Marshall at quarterback. Back after this. A drive that started on the 14-yard line, 15 plays. After this play coming up for Marshall, they trail at 7-3. There's a look at it. Over 6 minutes of clock used, and a big third down coming up. Chance to take the lead here in Morgantown. Slate the tight end in motion. Can with the rollout. Incomplete. Just got rid of the football at the feet of Matt Parkhurst because J.T. Thomas, the weak side linebacker, was coming after him.
J.T. Thomas with cornerback speed, comes from the edge. He's probably the most athletic linebacker they've had in 7 or 8 years. Athletic enough to cover wide receivers on the edge, and didn't give Can enough time on a rollout type situation to hit the wide receiver. Field goal opportunity. Marshall would like to hope to come away with points on this drive.
And there's a bad snap through the hands of Emmanuel Spann, the holder, and West Virginia will take over at the 28-yard line. So they come up empty. A 15-play drive, no points, and a big play there for the Mountaineers.
A bit demoralizing after a 15-play drive. It just slid through the holder's hands. Luckily, kicker had to jump on it, so they would turn it into points for West Virginia.
Warner didn't get a chance to put that through the uprights. 16 plays, no points, still a 4-point game. 7-3 Mountaineers. Fans having fun here at Mountaineer Field, but it has been a battle for the Mountaineers against their rivals from Huntington, West Virginia. Pat White, the 76-yard drive, but they've kept him in check since that point. Best starting field position, though, at the 28 on this drive. Handoff, and they go straight ahead with it, and it's Jock Sanders, who will see some time at tailback and at slot receiver. Mario Harvey on the tackle.
And you know, we keep seeing Jock Sanders pop up with some big plays as a receiver and a runner.
And they're hurrying things up now after that 6-yard pickup. Split backs this time for White. Looking in the flat, it's Sanders. Has a first down across the 40 and out of bounds. That's why he's so valuable. Remember, he's only a sophomore out of St. Petersburg, Florida.
And he's a little stronger version. Well, I don't know. They're very similar. Maybe a little bigger than Noel Devine. A good block on the edge by Jala as Patrick White delivers. Number 21, good block. Occupy, if you will. Gets him on the corner for a first down.
Speeding things up a little bit as they get to line of scrimmage at the 41-yard line. Far side of the field. Catch made again by Sanders. Hit once, twice, and dropped at the 47-yard line. Nice gain, though, and Sanders getting some work here with under 4 minutes to go. Tackle made by Ashton Hall, the strong safety. Mario Harvey also over there.
Something you have to watch, and I'll talk after this play, what this is setting up for West Virginia.
Second and short. Here he is again. Sanders stumbles, and he goes down shy of the first down. They'll mark him down at the 49. Ashton Hall over there. But they've got to be keyed on Sanders now. I mean, he has been the focal point here throughout the drive. White now 11 of 12 passing.
This is setting up Marshall to become more cognizant of the outside, the flat. It's going to open up the middle, not only as a receiver with a post pattern, but a quarterback draw.
From the 49-yard line, third down and 3. White rolling right, gonna run, has a first down into Marshall territory and out of bounds at the 42-yard line. You know, you see him on the roll, and he can just switch gears so quickly. You don't know whether it's run or pass until the last instant.
Full speed off his cuts, and you see as Will Johnson blocking with Selvish Capers on the edge right there. Patrick is down the field and just following his instincts, and he does this great. You know, he can stop here and throw, so you have to be aware of, you know, where the wide receivers are downfield. He is thrown from this position.
2:40 to go on the clock running. Handoff to Devine, running right. And is inside the 40-yard line of Marshall. And the offensive line doing a nice job now. They're getting 4, 5, 6 yards a pop. Kitchens and Gamble combine on the stop.
They are pounding away right now on the corners on the edge, which is going to open up the middle again. Patrick White, quarterback draw is a pretty successful play.
There's a look at the big guys up front. 303, 322, 300 on that left side. Second down, White, and it's incomplete. Or it's caught. Wes Lyons hung on, and he's close to the first down. The 6'8" junior with the grab, Harold Carmichael's size at that receiver spot.
He grew 3 inches since 2006, so if he bought a pair of pants, you know, he looks like he was in high water. That's a good size target. It's tough to overthrow someone at 6'8" with his hands up. It's, you know, mighty big target. It causes mismatches with the smaller cornerbacks.
He bobbled it, but he hung on just short of the stick. Third down and less than a yard now, just shy of the Marshall 44-yard line. Here's a look at what they've done today. 3 for 5. White. It's going to be Brown at quarterback. Brown has a first down, and he's down to the 22. They put White in as a running back, and Brown, the junior quarterback, keeps it. Harris and Spillman the tackle, but they move the chains as we approach the 1 minute mark.
He may not be as quick as Patrick White, but they say he does run a sub-4 540. Good block by Will Johnson downfield. He is a big time, and as he delivers a hit to take him down. First down, Jarrett Brown.
At the 21 now. Impressive drive for the Mountaineers. White back in at quarterback. Pump fake for the end zone. Jala, touchdown, Mountaineers. The pump fake set it up, and Jala was in the clear, and that is 41 career touchdown passes for Pat White.
Cornerback Bembry bit as Patrick White with the pump fake to Jala, and the cornerback freshman 17 Bembry just bit on the pump fake. Jala was in the moonlight for yet another touchdown.
Jala's first touchdown reception, and they stretch the lead to 10. McAfee for the PAT. And he stays perfect on the season. Ties Major Harris for 5th place with that touchdown pass to Jala.
Patrick White again shows that he's not just a runner, he's an accomplished passer. His 6th touchdown toss of the season.
So they cash in after Marshall has a botched field goal attempt and a tough turn of events for Coach Snyder. It's now a 14-3 game. Could be 7-6, and they've got a little bit of momentum, but important drive there for the Mountaineers.
They got Marshall playing on their heels right now defensively, and everything is working for West Virginia. They're hitting the edges, hitting the green, hitting the corners. Patrick White is running the ball exceptionally well, and credit the offensive line up front that we spoke of is doing a good job. Dent and company really giving Pat White time and holes to run through.
So the Mountaineers, a much-needed victory if they can get it here today after a couple tough losses to East Carolina and Colorado. An 11-point advantage, still plenty of time for Marshall, as they have Small and Darius Marshall back deep awaiting the kick from McAfee. Marshall has to like the way they've moved the football. Only 3 points to show for it, though.
Near opportunity has really hurt them. They just could not convert on turnovers.
There's a squib kick, and one of the upbacks for Marshall bringing it up, Matt Parkhurst. And nice return to the 42, and they're in good shape here to possibly get some points here. They have 1 timeout remaining and 1:05 on the clock.
What a collision by Tyson Gale, linebacker and special teams for Marshall. He unloaded on a would-be tackler for West Virginia. You can hear a wood crack up here.
Boy, we've seen some hits this season on special teams in college football, haven't we, you and I?
Not for the faint of heart, Frank.
It is dangerous out there. First down from the 42. Now before the snap of the football, timeout called by West Virginia.
West Virginia. The first charge, timeout of the half.
So Bill Stewart going to make sure they've got everybody in the right position, and he's on his team a little bit.
Oh, he's coaching hard. They work very hard to be where they are. We had a chance to catch a little practice yesterday, and we've seen West Virginia in the past, and he ran a boot camp. He's such a nice guy. People think, well, how can you be a head coach? He runs a boot camp type atmosphere out here, works them very, very hard, and believe me, you talk to the coaches, this is not a party out here.
There's Coach Snyder. You won't find 2 nicer guys in the profession than Bill Stewart and Mark Snyder. But Coach Snyder, you could sense the confidence, the optimism. He knew it would be a tough test here today, but they've learned a lot going down to Southern Miss and getting a win.
Well, you know, he's also been a good player. 124 tackles for that 1987 Marshall group, and set a record 10 interceptions as a linebacker. So he was a good player. So he knows, has been a player recently with Marshall. He knows what they're going through.
Now, he knew it wouldn't be friendly, regardless of the connections between both schools and between coaches, but his team needs some points on this drive from the 42. Can over the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Morty Ivy. His second pick. He also had one. He returned for a touchdown against Villanova.
And the thing is, Can just did not take his eyes off the receiver and defensive back. You see Ivy step right in front of it. He just eyed the receiver, and Morty Ivy just read his eyes and comes up with a big pick as he was going for pass more.
A senior from Monroeville, Pennsylvania, giving West Virginia another chance to score here with 1 minute to go. They have a couple timeouts to work with.
Morty Ivy against UConn had 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses. What a game he had against UConn.
2 setbacks, 3 receivers for Pat White. There's the pump fake again. Goes downfield. Arnett over his head and out of bounds.
White's pass intended for Arnett.
Arnett, big target at 6'2". 55 seconds, plenty of time here to get the ball downfield, at least into McAfee's range. He has a 52-yarder this year against Villanova.
Well, you know that McAfee is dying to get a good shot at a field goal, kind of redeem himself in his own mind, even though he's an excellent kicker.
Handoff to Devine. Nowhere to go. Reverses his field. Has blockers. Look out. Devine to the 40. And looks like he stepped out at the 30. They say no, he did not. And he takes it down to the 22-yard line. Maurice Kitchens, the middle linebacker, got to him. 26-yard open field run, reversing his field.
Timeout. West Virginia.
This is, give this guy a number 20 and put him in a Detroit Lions uniform. This is Barry Sanders. Boy, he's all over the field. He's like a ping pong ball in the bathtub, Dre. He's all over the place. You can't knock him down. Tough to bring down. Low center of gravity, very strong. What a 360 right there. That's a Michael Jordan type turn, and makes those cuts at full speed.
And he did keep those feet in bounds as you look at his numbers. This rivalry is heating up. West Virginia has had Marshall's number. Let's flash back to 1997. It's a date that will forever live in Marshall history. A new beginning for the Thundering Herd. First game back as a member of Division 1A. First game in the Mid-American Conference. First time in 74 years Marshall and West Virginia met on the football field. In a game that featured 2 future NFL quarterbacks, Mark Bolcher and Chad Pennington. It was West Virginia's running back Amos Zaraway that put on the show. His running led the Mountaineers to an early 28-3 lead. And they went on to a 42-31 win, West Virginia in a shootout. Mountaineers on the march here on first down, and a completion made into the hands of Will Johnson, their sophomore fullback tight end, and he picks up 9.
Will Johnson with soft hands, does an out pattern, and he's another weapon. He's a big guy. You know, Johnson is not your typical fullback. He's about 6'2", 230, but he runs very, very well. They miss Owen Schmidt a little bit. He's not that type of fullback. He's more of an H-back tight end type of fullback.
Good receiving guy, number 6, Will Johnson. Second down and a yard now from the 15. White 14 of 16 through the air. He's going to keep the football this time, and he's hit and he's wrapped up. A loss back to the 16. Good pursuit that time. McClellan was there, and also Mario Harvey. You want to stay with us here in Morgantown. Coming up at halftime, we're going to take a look at one of the better defensive ends in college football, George Selvey out of South Florida. Big East scores as well. And a look at the first half highlights and stats here from Morgantown, West Virginia. It's been an interesting game. You know, both teams have had some success on offense, Renee, that Marshall has to be a little bit frustrated that they haven't been able to punch the football into the end zone.
Yeah, you know, and that's the frustrating thing. They've gotten so close. Had an opportunity on that fumbled snap on the punt to punch it in. Only came away with 3. But they're working hard. They're very, very close. And you got to think that Mark Snyder's telling them in halftime, you know, every series is not critical. We're right there. We're on a cusp of getting close in this game and making this a contest.
Mountaineers use their final timeout. They're 4 of 6 on third downs, facing a 3rd and 1 here. Now Marshall will use their final timeout. 14-3. West Virginia, 76-yard drive, and then a touchdown pass to Darrell Jala, giving the Mountaineers their 2 scores. And the other thing about the Mountaineers, we talk about their big playability, averaging almost 7 yards per play in the first half.
That is outstanding. And, you know, that's how you get your first downs, and they're moving the ball down the field. And, again, they're doing it by land and by air. Pat White is hitting his targets, moving the ball expertly, and, you know, finding the creases. He's checking into the right plays and doing a good job.
Bill Stewart's team trying to put a few more points on the board here before halftime. 3rd and a long yard, just shy of the 15. Pat White, not a lot of yards through the air, but he's been efficient, 14 of 16, and think can run all the way. Keeps it for the first down, and he's out of bounds near the 10-yard line. There's your best option, your bread and butter. Why not go to it?
Yeah, no handoff, no possibility of fumbles. And Patrick White, again, gets out of bounds, stopping the clock, and getting closer and closer to McAfee's opportunity for a field goal as we close on the half.
It's their 13th first down, and again, 3rd and short was a concern coming in. It has been all year. They made that look easy. 1st and 10, just inside the 11-yard line. White looking, now running, still looking. Now he'll take off with it inside the 5, and he runs out of bounds to the 4. 14 seconds to work with, at least a couple plays here available for the Mountaineers.
Noel Devine helps out his running mate with a nice block as Patrick White gets out of bounds close to the goal line. You see number 7, not only does he run, watch this block by number 7, Noel Devine. Downfield, just a good occupy block, and that's a block on Brandon Burns, linebacker for Marshall, allowing Pat White to get out of bounds, stopping the clock, and picks up another 2 or 3 yards because of that block.
Remember, no timeouts left, 14 seconds, 2nd and goal, or 2nd and 2, just outside the 3. As you look at the numbers rushing the football for West Virginia, they'll go to the air here. White for the corner. It's knocked away. Intended for Bradley Starks, the redshirt freshman, broken up by DJ Wingate.
And DJ Wingate is another young cornerback. Nice break on the ball, and he stays with the wide receiver. He kind of slapping at him a little bit. I guess you could almost say tell you what, that is close with interference.
Left hand and then the right hand with a punch of the football. It's 3rd down now. 9 seconds to work with from the 3. 3 receivers left for White. Looking left. Now rolling. Now he's in some trouble. White trying to get out of a mess. Gets a big block. Now he throws. It's tipped incomplete. He kept giving himself chance after chance, and that's what makes him special. Mike Dent, the center, gave him a big block to give him some extra time. But with that play, they come up empty before halftime. They kill a chance at any field goal.
Yeah, well, you know, you wanted to come away with points here. This is not the way Coach Stewart and his staff drew it up. But now you see what it's like to chase Fran Tarkenton. He's going right, going left, coming back this way. Now he's being chased, releases the ball at the last second. Nice swat on the ball by a Marshall defender, knocks it away, killing any opportunity for West Virginia to come up with points.
They don't get the field goal, which is what you'd least like to get out of that drive. So it remains a 14-3 game as we head to halftime. 2 impressive drives, a 76-yard drive, and then a touchdown pass to Jala. The scoring for West Virginia. Marshall getting their field goal off a punt return fumble from Ellis Langster. And that's the score at halftime. Let's go on the field. Here's Mark with Coach Stewart.
All right, Coach Stewart, I know you wanted that last one in there, buddy.
Yeah, Mark, we sure did. We just came up short. We're trying to get 3. You know, we needed to get 3. We wanted 6. We tried to get 6. Clock ran out on Patrick.
I know you had to like that opening drive of the game and the way your team is moving.
Great drive. We're playing hard. Got to get the defense cranked up, keying the ball. We're just making too many simple mistakes on defense, hurting ourselves.
All right, Coach, good luck second half. Bill Stewart, the head coach of the Mountaineers, his team trying to punch it in there right in the half. Didn't happen, but they had the lead here at the break, 14-3. Third installment of the Friends of Coal Bowl unfolding from Mountaineer Field at Milan Pushkar Stadium, Morgantown. Back in a moment.
Looked pretty good, especially running the football with Marshall on that drive that netted no points for him.
Chubb Small did a pretty good job as well, and I think they'll go back to the ground game. Good blocking up front, open up some holes. Can needs to get back his confidence. He threw a lot of high passes, good opportunities. He threw away a score. It could have been a touchdown in the first half.
From the 31-yard line, they'll empty the backfield as they put Marshall in motion. Can swings it out there, caught by Passmore, breaks a tackle. Passmore across the 40, has a first down to the 42. Morty Ivy on the tackle. If you can't get the ball to him vertically down the field, find a way to get him the ball at the line of scrimmage. He's too good a player to not touch the football.
Just get him in space, isolate him, and Langster has a chance at him right here. And, you know, look at this. He just breaks this tackle from Langster as Marshall is applying a block. And Langster looking to kick himself right there, number 2, right in the middle of your screen. But Passmore is a guy that they're going to have to go to him quite often to come back with an 11-point disadvantage.
This time they come out with a different look. Double tight end alignment. Handoff. Picking his way through is Marshall. And he's up to the 44-yard line. Couple yards and that's it on that carry. But, you know, all coaches will tell you, you need to establish things with the running game to open up the passing game and keep people at bay. Barry on the tackle there.
Can't run the ball, you can't win. And Marshall is a guy they're going to have to, you know, we're going to have to count on a little bit. Look like he's coming to the sidelines, favoring perhaps his shoulder get checked on it as Chubb spells him in the lineup.
Chubb Small in there as they send Slate in motion. 3 receivers right for Can. Looks that way. Pass complete to Emmanuel Span, and he drags a tackler ahead and fumbles the football. West Virginia says they have it, and they do. At the 48, J.T. Thomas with the fumble recovery.
And J.T. Thomas with 10 tackles against East Carolina a couple of weeks ago. We said he's probably the most athletic linebacker they've had here in quite some time. Good play on the inside, and that's J.T. Thomas. Just tackles him down, strips the ball away from him, and somehow they manage to get on it. But a good play by J.T. Thomas from his outside linebacker, his will linebacker position.
So Bill Stewart's defense, he said they'd be physical today. A physical play there by Thomas, stripping it out of there. And they have the football now at the 47. Couple turnovers costly now for Marshall. Best starting field position for the Mountaineers on the Herd side of the field. Handoff, Devine has a crease and a first down or more. Devine has blockers. 20. And he's bumped out of bounds to the 12-yard line. Tackle made by Daquan Bembry, the corner, or he goes the distance. Arnett with a good block in the open field.
You got to have explosive speed to cut across the field like he did. He's going left. Good blocking. He sees a crease, cuts it back. Good vision here. Cutting against the grain, picking up blocks as he goes. Accelerating that 4.32 speed down inside the red zone at about the 12-yard line. Great opportunity. 7 carries, 88 yards. What a game he's having.
36 yards on that carry. 1st and 10. Outside the 11. Handoff Devine going left this time and cuts it back, and maybe gets a yard, and that's about it. Devine is a guy that had a breakthrough game at Colorado with 133 rushing. He also had 94 yards against East Carolina, and he's putting together big numbers. Could be his best game by the time we're done today.
You know, and the thing is, Noel Devine is running with his eyes now. Better vision. He's pressing the hole, allowing his blocks to set up, cutting off the hole instead of just running through a hole.
2nd and 9 from the Marshall 11. Sanders in motion. White, play fake, looking to throw. Catch is made. It's Sanders, and he's bumped out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Now they go to Will Johnson, the fullback, instead for the short gain. It's West Virginia and Marshall as they renew this rivalry, this time in Morgantown, West Virginia. Last year it was in Huntington, home of the Herd. Alongside Renee Nato on the sidelines, Mark Martin, I'm Trey Bender. Glad you're with us. A key game for both teams. West Virginia starting to flex their muscle a little bit. Look at the rushing yardage. Devine nearing 100 yards on the ground, and they're knocking on the door. 3rd and 3 at the Marshall 5. White to throw. Sanders left alone, and he takes it in. Touchdown, Mountaineers.
Touchdown, West Virginia.
West Lions, the block over there, had plenty of space, and it's 20-3.
Good blocking on the edge, allowing Sanders to get into the end zone for yet another score. And Patrick White, this is his first option right here. Look at a good block, good steal right there, good steal on the outside. And as a Vince Lombardi says, run right up the lane for a touchdown.
Sanders, a guy we talked about in the open, how valuable he is. Their leading receiver. 3 touchdown catches on the season now for the sophomore. At McAfee's extra point is through there. A big 3rd quarter touchdown drive for the Mountaineers, and they extend the lead to 21-3. West Virginia getting back to what they do well, rushing the ball down the field, and then the little screen pass into the hands of Sanders. He finds the end zone.
Here's the answer for today's Mountaineer trivia question. WVU3. The Cincinnati Bearcats. Thanks to all who participated in today's Mountaineer Trivia.
For the Mountaineers, those 3 guys involved in what's happening for West Virginia, up 18. West Virginia getting this drive thanks to this fumble. Right here by Emmanuel Spann, stripped out of there by J.T. Thomas. And then this play.
And Arnett at the top, West Lions at the bottom, allows Devine to run through a valley, if you will. I tell you what, that was Sanders. I'm sorry, Sanders with a great catch and run. He ran in an open hole you could drive a truck through. But credit to the blocking of Arnett and West Lions, a lost art among wide receivers. Blocking is so difficult when you don't know where the running back is behind you, and you're basically occupying the defensive back.
They take a lot of pride in that. Jala may be their best blocker at that slot receiver. McAfee with the kick. It'll be Marshall 2 yards deep out of there for Marshall. He's to the 30. Breaks free. Darius Marshall into West Virginia territory. Kicker to beat, and he's knocked out of bounds to the 26-yard line. McAfee, the kicker, ran him out. How about that? 75 yards on the return. They'll mark him out at the 25-yard line.
Marshall's did a great job catching the ball, and on special teams, you see he's switching the ball from his right to his left hand, which is a good thing. Watch him go to his left hand as he cuts back across the field. There he goes to his left. He can use that free hand as a stiff arm. He's kind of running out of gas if they had the angle on him. McAfee did run him down, but boy, what great field position the Thundering Herd has as he catches his breath on the sideline.
Last year he had a 77-yard return on the opening kickoff against West Virginia, and he comes back with a 75-yarder this season. Second time in West Virginia territory, and a flag is thrown as they rush the football with Chubb Small down to the 21-yard line.
Looks like they may have gotten Josh Evans
On the offense, in the 65. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Brian Leggett, my bad, a center, that caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Will erase that play by Chubb Small, bringing the ball, stepping back 10 yards, I'm sorry, against Marshall. He's got to get back in sync and get his confidence back. You know, he's the South freshman from Landrum, South Carolina, was one of the top 25 players coming out of high school. You know, his senior year, he had an outstanding year.
And you see the penalty numbers there. Just 3 against Marshall. That's a costly one, though. It takes the air out of the balloon a little bit after that big kickoff return. Out to 35, and here's penalty flags from every direction. 4 of them on the field. This will be motion.
On the offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Matt Altabello, the senior. First and 25 now. You know, that's got to drive a coach crazy.
And this is not what you want to see when you start your drive. Second drive in the second half, and Altabello just stands up a little too quickly and Keyser, West Virginia senior, playing for the Thundering Herd. Well, he's one of the good ones, though. He's one of the better offensive linemen for Marshall.
1st and 25 now at the 40-yard line. Can over the middle, catch made by Marshall, breaks one tackle, bumps off another one, still keeping his feet, and he's going to be gang tackled and pushed backwards around the 38-yard line. Ian Smith, free safety, finally got him. He tried to turn a short gain into a big one and then might have lost some yardage as he tried to bounce to the outside. 4 yards on the pickup.
And Darius Marshall just curls up and sits down in front of the zone here, collects the ball from Can and does a little broken field running, bouncing off of tackles, not wrapping him up, and finally, among others, Ian Smith making the stop for West Virginia.
2nd and 21 now at the 36-yard line. An important drive for Marshall after giving up a West Virginia score here in the 3rd quarter, trying to get back into the game. They send Slate in motion. And there's more movement and more penalty flags. Boy, if this is against the Herd, what a train wreck on this series.
Offsides on the defense. Number 90. Contact on an offensive lineman. 5 penalty. 2nd down.
Chris Neal, the nose tackle, the guilty party that time. And the Herd coaching staff breathing a sigh of relief. Finally.
Collective, that big gush of wind was a collective sigh of relief from the Marshall Thundering Herd faithful on the opposite side.
2nd and 16 now. Football at the 31-yard line. Can in the offense, which is 3 points. That came off a West Virginia turnover. Looking for more points here, in trouble. Fumbles the football. West Virginia thinks they have it. It was done. Slavonic, and they do have it. Slavonic, the senior defensive tackle, with a big play.
You have to credit a little bit to the coverage. They went to quarters, which means they split the defensive backfield up into 4 quarters. Slavonic, with his 2nd sack of the season, just comes over the top over Can, unsuspecting Can, and not only gets the sack, it's a fumble recovery as well. What a play by big 6'8", 260-pound senior Doug Slavonic.
From Pittsburgh, and he makes a, puts a dagger in the Herd's hopes here. They were in position after a great kickoff return by Darius Marshall. Mountaineers get it back now. 3 straight turnovers now for Marshall. They've got it at the 35. The Mountaineers with Jarrett Brown on the carry, and he takes it up to the 44-yard line. We've seen a lot of Brown. Taking over for White at that quarterback spot gives him another running threat. He can also carry the ball as a running back. C.J. Spillman on the tackle.
He did a good job running the ball, and he's played it enough where he knows where to go, and if he has to make a decision passing the ball, he knows what to do, and Jarrett Brown is certainly going to do a good job when he steps up and to show us his next year.
And Pat White's back in there now after that 8-yard pickup. Split backs, Johnson and Devine. White, little fake, now he'll take off, has some room, has a 1st down. He's into Marshall territory and down to the 48-yard line. White had plenty of room to make something happen there. Aaron Johnson on the tackle.
Well, he just let the receivers go into their patterns and opened everything up. The linebackers dropped, cornerbacks and defensive backs, and opened up a lot of green for Patrick White to run through and pick up necessary 1st down.
Over 300 yards total offense now for West Virginia. The Mountaineers trying to take controls. They put Jarrett Brown back in at the quarterback spot. Takes it to White. Brown's going to try to keep it. He's in trouble, and he's thrown for a loss back to the 46-yard line. A flag comes in. It's a nice play by John Jacobs, the junior defensive end from Broadway, Virginia.
On the offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
But Capers, the guilty party, the right tackle.
Jacobs with 4 stops against West Virginia here a couple of years ago, and well, he's a focused guy, 6'3", 241 junior.
Holding on the offense is declined. 2nd down.
And they will take the play, and it was a nice play by Jacobs, who was a starter as a sophomore with Albert McClellan out with injury, so saw a lot of action last year. 8 starts. Was bothered by a broken hand last year, and a nice guy to have backing up McClellan at that end spot. 2nd and 16. White at quarterback, over the middle, Alric Arnett to catch. And he's inside the 40, and he's close to a West Virginia first down. Mario Harvey, weak side linebacker on the tackle. Haven't heard a lot from Arnett. He's a lanky guy that is a junior college product. He had a thumb injury last year. They redshirted him, so his first year on the field.
Very, very fast, Arnett. He had 4 grabs against Villanova earlier this year for 70 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Well, he gives that extra dimension. You know, so much goes to attention goes to July and Sanders, but in his own way, Arnett has really stepped up in a big way, the junior.
15-yard catch, 3rd and a yard at the Marshall 39. West Virginia trying to take control of this game. Here's White on the keeper, has a first down, and White slams down inside the 35-yard line. C.J. Spillman, the free safety there again on the tackle. And you can see the momentum shifting to the Mountaineers. They are taking control of this thing at the midway point, 3rd quarter.
They're controlling it. It looks like Patrick White may be favoring that left shoulder as he's wincing a little bit as he comes to the sidelines. White about 65 to 70 yards rushing thus far and close to 130 yards in passing. So he's had quite a game thus far with quite a bit of time here to go to the 3rd stanza.
Boy, I hope that's not serious. They will take a look at Pat White on the near sideline here. Jared Brown back in at the quarterback spot. Fresh set of downs from the Marshall 34. Brown looking to throw. Steps up, fires downfield. Man open, it's intercepted. It's picked off by Marshall. Nice play by Daquan Bembry, the redshirt freshman from Hawkinsville, Georgia. He gets his first pick of the year.
And Bembry just played this ball. He had been beaten, and Jared Brown just did not put enough air under the ball. He drops back. Pretty good protection as he steps up into the pocket and just airs it out. Bembry just steps right in front of the intended receiver, Arnett.
So with White out of the game, Brown takes a shot at the end zone, and it backfires. Marshall gets the football back, down 18. You're looking at the next great left tackle for the West Virginia Mountaineers right there. They grow them young here in Morgantown. They love their football, don't they? A lot of people, most people decked out in the gold shirts, and they have to like what they see so far. 21-3 Mountaineers in front. Marshall football, trying to run it with Marshall. Not much doing, maybe a yard. How about this, just 20 yards on the ground for Marshall. They've got to find a way to get up top and get guys like Passmore and Slate involved, or this game gets away from them right now. This is a drive they've got to see some points from, or they could be in dire straits here.
Well, you know, the thing is that, Trey, it's a good point, and West Virginia has kind of forced Marshall to become one-dimensional and very easy to figure out.
Here's a look at Passmore, 4.3 40 speed. He's split and trips formation to the left side, and that pass incomplete. Thrown behind his intended receiver, Lee Smith, the tight end. Scooter Berry was coming in, Doug Slavonic as well. 3rd and 8 coming up.
Lee Smith, his dad, played 6 years in the NFL, 9 years pro altogether. He played for the Cowboys, Browns, and Philadelphia. Big Tennessee transfer, 6'6", 255. He may be playing on Sundays in a couple of years.
They're 5 of 9 on 3rd downs. 3rd and 8 from the 22. Can with all kinds of time, and he heaves that one incomplete. Well out of bounds. Intended for Bryant Milligan. You know, he had a lot of time back there, Renee, but credit that West Virginia coverage. There was nothing available.
Well, you know, the thing is they went to max coverage, max protection, and they kept Marshall in the backfield to block to give him a little more time, but you didn't have as many players out here as, boy, he is getting pounded. Passmore was open momentarily, but they are hitting him, pressing him, and pounding on him every time he goes out to a route. But Can did just not look Passmore's way.
So Bill Stewart's defense doing the job again, and they should get pretty good field position out of this. Ellis Langster is back deep for West Virginia. Case Whitehead with a wobbly kick. It's going to bounce to 47. Take a hop for the herd inside the 35, and they'll down it at the 30-yard line. 6:08 to go, 3rd quarter. 48-yard punt. And West Virginia now, a chance to, you know, when you have a lead and you're a good rushing team, that's where your offensive linemen really enjoy the game, don't they?
Yeah, and as the offense goes back on the field, Trey, Jared Brown will go in as quarterback. Patrick White is only 20 yards behind the second-place all-time leading rusher in the NCAA, Antoine Randall L. 20 yards behind him. And if he looks to overtake Brad Smith, the all-time leading rusher in NCAA among quarterbacks, he needs 394 yards before season's end.
Jarrett Brown at the quarterback spot, hands it off. They run right. Devine out to the 34-yard line. Albert McClellan, the defensive end, on the spot for the play. You just hope that the White thing's not serious. You know, you can never be too careful with a guy that's you know, a Heisman Trophy candidate last year, one of the best players in college football. Well,
they certainly need his skills, and we don't know if it's something that needs to be addressed, or they just, with a 21-3 lead and the way the defense is playing, Trey, right now they're just going to see how Jarrett Brown runs things.
You see him walking around in the vicinity of the 40, and it doesn't appear to be in a lot of pain right now, but why take chances? Hand off Brown to Devine, and he's up to the 38-yard line. Will set up a third and short yardage from there. Maurice Kitchens was there. Ian Hoskins as well, the defensive end.
You know, Noel Devine, Deion Sanders was his mentor, and he followed in the footsteps of Steve Slayton. A lot of people thought he was going to go to Florida State, coming out of Fort Myers, Florida. 6,842 yards and 92 touchdowns during his star-studded career. But he wound up coming here, and he's very, very happy, and Mountaineer fans are glad to have him.
Next carry could get him over the century mark. Here's Brown, quarterback draw, carrying the tackler for the first down. DJ Wingate had a hold of him about 3 yards behind the stick, and he carried him for the first down. That's what a 220-pound body can do for you. As you look at White on the sidelines, appears to be okay. Nothing too serious from our vantage point.
Jarrett Brown, boy, what a nice run he made, and just carried a would-be tackler with him. He's deceptively fast. He doesn't look like he's moving as fast as he is, because he's a little bigger version, 6'4", 220.
Mountaineers have now amassed over 200 yards on the ground from the 41-yard line. Brown hands it off to Devine, trying to get wide. Hit once, twice, bounces at it. He reverses his field again. Brown, the lead blocker. He gets the block. Breaks another tackle. Devine all the way to the Marshall 42. He says he'll outwork the next guy. He did it right there. Harvey on the tackle.
He just bounced off of 3 or 4. The first one to get a shot on him was Johnny Jones, number 91. Watch, he's going to hit right here. Got a handful of jersey, but he can't hold him down. Next up, that was John Jacobs. And Jarrett Brown, look, he's going to go downfield. Boy, wow, took his head off. And another block. So I'll tell you what, everyone got in on the act. Noah Devine broke 3 tackles before finally, that's Mario Harvey brings him to the ground, but an exciting run as he goes over the century mark.
He will not say quit.
Wow.
They have the football now at the 41. They're going to call a timeout right here. Jarrett Brown in relief of Pat White, but the big story has been Noel Devine, over 100 yards on the ground. The guy in the Mohawk right there, Owen Schmidt, the former fullback for West Virginia, making the move to the next level this year. They miss him and Steve Slayton, obviously, but what a guy they love. He's a fan favorite here in Morgantown.
Cult hero. He busted in 2 years 9 face masks.
Yeah, well, and they missed him. You know, Will Johnson's done a nice job stepping into the fullback tight end role. Here's Brown on the roll, looking to throw. And he completes the pass, hauled in by West Lyons, and that's good enough for a first down at the 30-yard line.
Good play by Brown. He collects himself as he's being chased, collects himself, and gets his balance, and nice throw to West Lyons for the completion. That was not an easy throw to make as he was being pursued.
First down, West Virginia.
Brown's action in 10 games last year. A couple touchdown passes, 3 touchdown runs, getting some work here with White sitting it out with his team up by 18 points. Dinged his shoulder, it appeared a little bit, but doesn't appear to be anything too serious, and Brown doing a nice job moving his club down the field. Looking to throw again. It's Devine with the catch. And Devine's cut down at about the line of scrimmage.
Brown's pass complete by Devine.
Aaron Johnson, the strong safety, was over there.
And you know, these receivers, or these running backs, Devine and Sanders are slot guys, but they're also running backs, and they have such outstanding hands, I should say, and such a different dimension, because you rarely see running backs that catch so well. And when I tell you that gives defensive backs headaches, they have to cover these guys.
Under 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Second down, 10. No gain on that last play. They go to the other side to Sanders, and he's hammered. Just busted up. DJ Wingate with a big-time hit on Jock Sanders, and he lost his helmet.
DJ Wingate just read this from the get-go. As soon as the snap came, he saw this coming. And you're going to see DJ Wingate just come at full speed, and Jock Sanders didn't have a chance. You could hear the wood crack.
Wingate, a sophomore from Daytona Beach, goes hurt, and that's a 2-yard loss. 3rd and 12 now. They're 8 of 11 on 3rd downs. Brown trying to keep the drive going. 2 receivers left. Arnett split to the right side, looking Arnett's way. The throw is on the money and close to the 1st down. They needed the 19. They're going to mark him shy, it looks like. Just inside the 22, and that brings up 4th down. Let's go down to Mark.
Well, guys, I talked to the training staff of West Virginia. Pat White, nothing serious, just nicked up a bit. And, you know, the thing is, when you have a quarterback like Jared Brown, this guy would be starting for most programs around the country, but he stayed here, been very patient. Earlier today, the Mountaineer basketball team was honored. He was a part of that Sweet 16 club a year ago, so the Mountaineers in good shape with these guys as McAfee gets set for the field goal.
That's good news on Pat White. A lot of people happy to hear that. McAfee with a 39-yard attempt, and he drills it.
The kick is good.
Pat McAfee, number 4 on the NCAA active list in career field goals. And there's Pat White, the senior leader, being a guy to congratulate the offense. Jarrett Brown moving them down the field, and they're now up by 3 touchdowns.
What a weapon McAfee, number 40, is right there. You know, in high school, he kicked off the ground for 65 yards on a regular basis. 4 field goals against Rutgers back in 2006 in December.
Last year's game was a good one, and it marked the first time these 2 teams met in Huntington since 1915. The Marshall defense dominant in the first half, holding the 3rd-ranked Mountaineer team to only 118 total yards. Offensively, paced by senior quarterback Bernard Morris, 19 of 29, 256 yards and a couple touchdowns. In only his 2nd game, Darius Passmore, his favorite target. The 2 connected 5 times for 76 yards. Passmore also 21 yards rushing on a couple carries. Darius Marshall, the Herd's leading rusher, 80 yards on 11 carries, and he was a factor on offense there, and also 108 kick return yards. In the 2nd half, it was West Virginia wearing down the Marshall defense. They rushed for 4 touchdowns in the final 2 periods. Slayton with 146 yards on 24 carries and a couple touchdowns. And Pat White, he rushed for 124 yards in a score, and he also had 149 yards through the air and a couple touchdowns. 48-23, West Virginia, the win in Huntington, and trying to win again here on home turf. Chubb Small on the kickoff return for the Herd, and he takes it out to the 30-yard line. 24-3, and it's an uphill battle now for the Herd. What do they need to do to have a chance here in this final quarter plus?
Well, they have to have success with something they haven't done yet, and that's pass the ball, move it down the field. But they do also have to continue running with some success. They haven't done either one of them very well. They've had some mistakes on their own, but credit the West Virginia defense, which had a pretty good game thus far against this Marshall team.
You know, we talked so much about Passmore and Slate. How about Mark Cann? His numbers, he's seen better games. 9 out of 22, 80 yards, and the pick. Play fake as he'll go to work on 1st down. There's the deep ball, looking for Slate downfield, and it's almost intercepted. Brandon Hogan had a chance at it at the corner.
Intended for Cody Slate.
You see 3 gold jerseys in the general vicinity of Slate. That pass did not have much of a chance from the get-go, and Slate now is just trying to hopefully someone can make a big play and go to this playmaker, Slate, Passmore, and someone can just come up with a big catch.
And this has been a great West Virginia effort. Last 5 possessions, a muff field goal, 3 turnovers, and a 3-and-out. Trying to generate something here from their 30-yard line. Pressure coming. Cann sets up the screen. Passmore. A short gain up to the 35-yard line. Ripped pretty well by the Mountaineers. Brandon Hogan was there again. Final minute, 3rd quarter. We're at Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia. A renewal of a rivalry that really has picked up steam over the last few years. Trey Bender, Renee Nato on the sideline. Martin, glad you're with us. West Virginia with a game they know they've got to have. Let's look at the turnover numbers. They have been key, but Marshall just one field goal off of a turnover. They haven't been able to get anything generated offensively.
Timeout, Marshall. The first charge timeout of the half.
And Mark Snyder's going to call a timeout here and talk things over. It has to be frustrating for him because he knows he has playmakers, but what the defense is doing is taking them out of what they're good at.
And you know, they've played very well. Last week, they went into a tough place to play against Southern Mississippi, come away with a win. You know, they did some good things against Wisconsin, and he sees some good, positive things with Marshall this year. But, you know this is going to be a rivalry. And this is a game that West Virginia needed very, very badly, so you're going to pull it all stops. I certainly can see that Marshall can go on and have a very successful season. Where West Virginia will go from here, this game could be a very big confidence booster to the Mountaineers.
Now they'll get Cincinnati, another Big East team, on home turf in their next game, coming off arguably their biggest win in a long time at Southern Mississippi last week. 3rd down and 5. Pressure coming. Can over the middle. And the catch is made by Courtney Edmondson. And he has a first down up to the 42-yard line. His second catch of the year, the junior from Titusville, Florida.
Last year, Courtney Edmondson against Southern Mississippi, 4 grabs, 78 yards. He's a guy that got pretty good size, 6 feet, 187, just a junior. But good look at Morty Ivy, one of the outstanding linebackers for the Mountaineers.
Final 15 seconds here in the 3rd quarter. West Virginia up by 21. It was a battle early. The defense has been stout for the Mountaineers. Can throws it as he's hit. And a short gain as he gets it to Edmondson again up to the 46. Quentin Andrews, the bandit safety, on the tackle. And that'll be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Uphill battle for Marshall. It has been West Virginia dominating so far in the second half. 24-3, Pat White and company in front. 4th quarter coming up. West Virginia in front of Marshall as we start the 4th quarter here in Morgantown. And this has been a case of physical football. West Virginia said they do it on both sides of the ball coming in. They've done it. They've run the football well, which is their bread and butter. And the defense has done very well, keeping Marshall in check. Jock Sanders is a guy that stepped up 7 grabs and a touchdown, but he's done it all. You know, also ran the ball very well. Noel Devine, what can you say? Already over the century mark. Patrick White, probably the last we've seen of him this afternoon. You have to be impressed with what the Mountaineers have done defensively and, you know, being physical on the line of scrimmage against good receivers from Marshall. I mean, we talked about Passmore and Slate in the open. They've been held in check. Really, and West Virginia doing a good job banging Passmore, making him earn every catch he has. Mark Can with an incompletion, and as he continues to struggle, he really felt good about his effort at Southern Miss. It has not translated here against a very good Big East team that's going to be a national factor again this year. West Virginia has just plainly outplayed Marshall this afternoon. Marshall's had some opportunities. The 3 points came on a turnover. They just haven't created enough opportunities for themselves, and when the opportunities were there, they didn't capitalize. And the Mountaineers fans, they've been waiting for this. They've been waiting for a game like this, and after tough losses the last 2 games. 3rd down for Can. And the catch is made by Emmanuel Spann, and he's going to be close to the first down marker as they mark it at the West Virginia 48-yard line. Let's see, they're going to, I think, call for a measurement here. If he didn't get it, it'll be a 4th and short. And I think, without a doubt, you're in 4-down territory now, down 24-3. Bring the sticks out. And just short. So 4th and a few chain links for Marshall. And they'll bring in the big bodies here for the short yardage play. Marshall's playing like they really have an opportunity here, and that's the best thing to do. I don't see any quit in the Thundering Herd, trailing by 21. A whole quarter to go. A lot of things can happen. Coach Snyder knows they've got to have it. Already down by 21. Can, a big body, straight ahead at 6'4", 238 pounds. And we have a timeout before the play.
It's a second charge timeout.
So before the snap of the football, a timeout called. Can had enough for the first down. But we'll have 4th and short coming up. We're in the 4th quarter in Morgantown. It's been all Mountaineers. (24-3) West Virginia. Marshall facing a 4th down and inches coming off of a timeout. They're at the West Virginia 48-yard line. Lone setback. Darius Marshall, toss sweep to the short side of the field, has the first down and more, and he's inside the 40 before being run out of bounds. Ian Smith, the free safety, on the tackle. Just haven't seen enough of Marshall today.
Well, you know, he had some outstanding performances the last couple of weeks. 112 yards and a touchdown against Southern Mississippi. 27 totes for 140 yards and a touchdown against Memphis. Today, he only has 13 carries for about 40 yards and maybe another couple of catches, so it's way off his performance. Slade has been down, and so they've caught Passmore and kept him in check for just a couple of grabs so far this afternoon.
It's underway here in the 4th quarter. First down at the West Virginia 39. They have Slade in a slot to the right side. Can looking left, corner of the end zone, and incomplete. He wanted Passmore with Langster trailing him. That's something we thought we'd see a lot more of, stretching the field with Passmore and his 4.3 speed.
You know, this is just outstanding, step for step, and Langster just keeps that hand on him, and that is legal, just to know where the receiver is, where he is, and looks back at the appropriate time. Passmore just could not put separation between him and Langster, and just incomplete pass, but good defensive effort by Langster.
He had 6 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown against Memphis, over 130 yards against Southern Miss, but has been held in check here tonight. 4 catches, just 39 yards over the middle. Catch made by Lee Smith, the tight end, and he bounces off 1 tackle, and he's close to a first down inside the 30.
To Lee Smith.
J.T. Thomas and Reed Williams, 2 linebackers in on the tackle. Let's revisit the keys for Mark Snyder. Well, 3 points. It's been disappointing today.
Well, get him down. You need to tackle him, which they've had a little trouble with. Ken, got to build him confidence. He has not had much time to settle into his regimen as a quarterback and let the players play. The Slates, the Marshalls, the Passmore, get them involved, let them make plays, and that has not happened against the West Virginia defense.
Those 3 turnovers costly, as you can see, on 3rd and short. Handoff, or a toss pitch to Darius Marshall. He has a first down. Reed Williams, middle linebacker, on the tackle. So they move the sticks, and they're getting Marshall a little bit more involved here, but the clock running, and that's an ally of the Mountaineers.
He's far off where he's been. He's had 3 100-yard performances thus far, but again, West Virginia's kept him in check, just over 40 yards rushing, and he's made a couple of good runs. That outstanding kickoff return, but not enough as the Thundering Herd trail at 21.
Span, Milligan, Passmore, Slate, all split out with Marshall in the backfield. In the flat, through the hands of Marshall, and incomplete. You know, even with a catch there, you're not getting more than a couple yards, as West Virginia had a defender right there in J.T. Thomas.
And Marshall is really just trying to make a big play. Last year, he had a little case with the drops, and it's not happened this year. He's held onto the ball, but just tried to make a play and turn and run before he really caught the ball. And J.T. Thomas in coverage, a linebacker. That tells you a lot about how quick the West Virginia linebackers are covering running backs and receivers single coverage.
Let's see if that play sets up a pass downfield here. They've got Passmore and Slate to the top of the screen. They're 2 weapons. Pump fake right, now over the middle, Slate. It's deflected and incomplete. He takes a big-time hit, and that's going to get flagged. That will be a personal foul penalty on Ian Smith, the free safety.
And I think he got a penalty because a shot to the head, or he used his helmet. Watch this right here. What a collision. Right to the head. That is what got him the penalty.
Personal foul. Blow to the head on the defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
That's automatic, Trey, from this year. They've watched that very closely, and Ian Smith, if he makes a tackle, hits him in the chest, but because he went to the head, automatic 15.
Well, he got his money's worth on that one, but it's dangerous when you're up near the headgear, and the officials will call that 99% of the time.
And that was a good call.
First down at the Mountaineers 14. Can tipped and incomplete, caught out of bounds. Passmore. Hogan got his hand on that one.
Hogan makes a great break as he comes out of that cut, swats it away with his paw, and Hogan has played a pretty good game, just a sophomore. He'll be back for another couple of years, and well, he's one of the three true freshmen that played last year and did a good job.
Yeah, he's a slot receiver, made the move to cornerback in the offseason, and he called his number a lot tonight. Second down. Can over the middle. It's his tight end, Slate, and he's down to the 6-yard line. A couple yards short of the first down. Quentin Andrews, the leading tackler at the safety spot on the stop there. Here's a look at number 8, junior from Opelika, Florida, 3-year starter.
And Slate with his third grab of the game here with this crossing pattern underneath, and they can let you have that. Marshall needs 7, not 3, and they're going third and short here. Got to think it's a Marshall play. Darius Marshall.
14th play of this drive. Here's a look on the third down numbers at the top there, 7 out of 13. In motion, Bryant Milligan. Can rolling left. Tight end's open, and it's through his hands. Through Slate's hands. It was a bullet thrown low. That would have been good enough for a first down, though.
A little behind Slate. He had to make a tough catch. He was going forward. You see he had to turn back, bend back to make the catch. All his momentum is going forward. He's got to bend all the way around. This is not an easy catch at all. And of course they converge on him quickly. But Slate usually makes those catches. That was a tough catch.
4th and a yard. With under 12 minutes to go. They've converted one today. Passmore, the lone receiver, up top as they put Slate in motion. Pitch left, Marshall. Hit hard and drives forward, and I think he has it. Needed to get inside the 5, and the spot looks like it's close to the 4-yard line and would be good enough for the first down. That's hard running. He took a shot at the line of scrimmage.
He flies through the holes, and again, reminiscent of Ahmad Bradshaw. Slate.
See how close this is. It appeared that the football was up, yep, good enough by about half the football. A first down at the 4-yard line. 16 plays on the drive. How about this block by Passmore?
Right here by Slate. He just drives him. Look at this. He's driving him. That he just drives him about 15 yards. Well, not quite. I'm exaggerating. But he just keeps those feet moving and backs off when the referee steps in. But good block by Slate. He's not just a pass receiver. He's a good blocker.
The hard run by Marshall, good enough for the first down at the 4-yard line. The Herd trying to get in the end zone for the first time. Marshall hit in the backfield and dropped. Reed Williams has been like a man possessed. The senior from Moorefield, West Virginia. And it's amazing to come back from one shoulder surgery, but how about surgery on both shoulders, Renee?
And this is the Fiesta Bowl defensive MVP filling this A-gap. Boy, he blows through there, and he's determined to make the stop. Read the play very quickly, diagnosed it, made the stop. That's the way a middle linebacker plays.
Over 100 tackles last year. Missed the first 2 games, makes a big play there, 2nd and goal. Can. And his receiver fell down. Passmore near the goal line.
Ball's incomplete. It's 3rd down.
You see Passmore, and he just trips out of this break here, and as in coverage with Brandon Hogan, who's done a really good job. But Passmore just couldn't keep his feet on.
Rain's starting to fall. You wonder if he lost some footing there. It's 3rd and goal now.
The only receiver out in that coverage that time, in that pattern.
Edmondson and Passmore split to the bottom of the screen. Slate again in motion. Can steps up, throws on the run, incomplete. Tough pass to make on the move, and through the hands of his intended receiver, Darius Passmore. It's 4th down, and they'll bring the kicking team out there.
Morty Ivy, you know, he was recruited as a 204-pound safety. He's grown into a 235-pound linebacker. When he's got that safety instincts, this is a guy who once played safety. He sees where the ball is, reacts very quickly, and Passmore is not an easy guy to stay with, but Morty Ivy makes sure he doesn't make the reception.
Warner has made one field goal, didn't get a chance at a second that ended up being a pivotal play. A bad hold by the holder Span. This kick is no good. Off to the left, hold on, there is a flag on the field at the 16. It's motion against the kicking team.
Legal formation on the offense. Penalties decline, no score, 1st down, West Virginia.
So Warner, who had hit his first 3 field goals as a collegian, misses to the left. And it remains a 24-3 game. 10:24 to go. West Virginia looking good on home turf. 24-3, West Virginia flexing their muscles here in Morgantown. 10:24 to go. The Mountaineers have the football. Another long drive and no points for Marshall. They've had 2 long drives. Over 12 minutes of clock time burned off and no points. It's made for a frustrating day for Coach Schneider. Here's Noel Devine on the carry across the 30 and a 1st down out to the 33-yard line. This guy has not had a frustrating day. Over the century mark for the 2nd straight game, Noel Devine.
And he's close. He's close on 125 yards rushing. Listen to this. Patrick White leaves the game completing 81% of his tosses.
Let's revisit the keys for the Mountaineers, and they have done the job, haven't they?
Find the rhythm, get into a flow, finish drives they have. Need a new hero? They found one, and Jock Sanders always did. And contain the run, which they did. And Darius Passmore was one guy they needed to focus on, and they threw the ball down the field with effectiveness.
And the number 3 there, the Stars, they have come out to play. Devine and White. Sanders a nice 3rd option. 1st down at the 33-yard line. Devine has averaged 10.6 yards per carry as he gets the handoff again, trying to dance his way away from trouble, nowhere to go. Ran out of room. If he had room, he'd probably make something happen, but it's a loss back to the 32.
Good block by Ryan Stanchak on the left side, left tackle. Guy making his 38th start out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and he'll probably be, you know, we talked about the talent out here. Next 2 years, there'll be about 25 to 28 guys that will get an opportunity to be in NFL camps. That is a lot of talent out here next 2 years.
We talked about the 24 guys that went on to the NFL from that 1997 game. A lot of talent on the field here as well in 2008. Here's Devine, and he's corralled and dropped for a loss back at the 29. And here comes a flag. Johnny Jones, the defensive tackle.
Personal foul on the defense. Face mask, number 91. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's more of a collaring play there, but they're going to call the face mask and a personal foul penalty.
Horse collar, they are also considering that, you know, that can hurt someone. So a horse collar.
Well, there at the end. But then at the end, he got the mask as well. So collar and the face mask. And the Coach Schneider on the far side, not too pleased with Jones on that play.
Johnny Jones, just a sophomore, 6'5", 288, and got a bright future here for the Thundering Herd.
Approaching 9-minute mark. Coach Schneider seeing this game slip away. They have not been able to generate much offensively. Here's Brown to the air. Downfield, it's Sanders. He's got it inside the 30. And another big play for Jock Sanders. Well, who is going to step out behind White and Devine? They may have found their guy in the sophomore Sanders.
Jared Brown with great touch as Jock Sanders gets beyond the coverage, making his 8th grab, bumped out of bounds, but the damage is already done, and Jock Sanders is enjoying his career day here.
8 catches, 60 yards. Last year, he had 12 catches, rushed the ball 16 yards for a couple scores. A multi-dimensional threat for the Mountaineers. At the 27, handoff to Devine, in some trouble, tries to reverse his field, keeps the feet going, and he still will lose yardage. Back to the 28.
Boy, Trey, he's got a little jello on his boots, doesn't he, buddy?
Safe to say he's not a north-south guy.
Wow,
huh?
Man. He'll go 55 yards to gain 3.
Fun to watch, though. Gamble, the senior on the tackle. 5'9", 185. You think he's 5'9", Renee?
You know, standing on his tiptoes. But he's a pack of dynamite. Again, he bench presses over 400 pounds, and you know, when he hits you, you feel it.
Over 400 total yards of offense now for West Virginia. Second down, 12 at the Herd 29-yard line. Brown, they can run all the way. It's a good block. He's inside the 25, and then he's hammered by Daquan Bembry, the corner, near the stick. Some hitting going on here in the last 7:40 plus in this one. Sanders with a big block on the sideline.
A pair of good blocks in space. Sanders was one of them. And you see right here, Sanders bang. Meet number 9, Jock Sanders. Wes Lyons is also applying a block downfield. So Jared Brown, a nice escort as they close to a 3rd and 2.
Just shy of the 28-yard line. Brown, a play fake this time to Devine. He's under duress, throws off his back foot to the pylon. Incomplete. Broken up by John Saunders, the strong safety. Arnett was the intended receiver, and he took a shot. You know, we talked about it. Mark Snyder said it's not going to be friendly out there on Saturday, and we've seen hitting from every angle in this one.
You got to come away impressed with Jared Brown, what he's done. He collects himself, he throws on the run pretty effectively. Nice spiral, throws an easy catch, and as Jared Brown is getting instructions on the sidelines, but you have to be very encouraged by what he's done here this afternoon.
Okay, here's McAfee from 36 yards. Converted on his last attempt. Plenty of leg on this one, and he knocks it through there. And a guy that's been trying to shake off the demons after hitting the upright in the loss at Colorado in their last game extends the West Virginia lead. Jarrett Brown in relief of White, looking good. 27-3 Mountaineers. 27-3 Mountaineers, 242 yards rushing. Let's go on the field now. Mark Martin, how about a tip of the hat to the big guys up front, Mark?
Well, Trey and Renee, you know, this bunch of guys came into the season heralded as one of the best offensive lines in the country, and they've had a bit of a chip on their shoulder the last few weeks when you consider what happened at East Carolina. And then last week, signs of improvement, but still they came into this game feeling like they had something to prove, and I think they've done that here today. And you know, good things are going to be down the road for this bunch of guys, and just an outstanding bunch of young men led by a former Marshall offensive line coach this year in Dave Johnson, a one-time Mountaineer standout. He coached in the 1997 game, and he's certainly proud of what his offensive line has done in this meeting with Marshall and West Virginia.
Yep, and you know, you love rushing the football when you have a lead, and they have done that successfully. Darius Marshall on the kick return, and Marshall has some room across the 40. Into West Virginia territory, kicker to beat, and it's McAfee again, and eerily similar to earlier in the game, he knocks him out near the 25-yard line. 75-yard kick return first half. Here's another kick return that goes for 76 yards, and again, the kicker McAfee, the guy that got to him and knocked him out of bounds.
Got to love with Darius Marshall, no quit in his hound dog, and he just hits the crease. He's running at full speed, not the fastest guy, but you know, he takes what he has and breaks away from the pursuit. Pat McAfee, as you said, saved certainly a touchdown, but Darius Marshall, you got to like what you see. He's giving it everything he has, emptied his bucket on that play.
They'll officially make that a 64-yard return, but two big kickoff returns. Marshall fumbles the football. Loose on the ground and recovered by the backup quarterback, Brian Anderson, that has checked in. Sophomore from Louisville is the only guy that was a guy with a start at quarterback entering the season. He's only thrown 6 passes this year.
Out of Louisville, Kentucky, Brian Anderson, 6'3", 217. He's similar to Can a little bit, but he was number 3 rated quarterback coming out of Kentucky. Number 10th rated overall play out of Kentucky, but good career, 24 touchdowns.
Back up to Bernard Morris last year to the air, and the pass incomplete as he was looking for Courtney Edmondson in the vicinity of the 10-yard line. So Can is out of there, a frustrating day for him. Anderson, a guy that saw time in 5 games a year ago. And a chance to get some work here, some reps in the final 6 minutes.
They got a new tailback, Terrell Edwards, out of Mobile, Alabama. Had a 49-yard touchdown run against Illinois State. He's a walk-on. They think he could be special down the road, just a freshman.
Third down as they empty the backfield. Quarterback draw by Anderson. Hit hard as he takes it down to the 18, shy of the stick. Quentin Andrews laid into him right there with a big-time hit. Known as a big hitter, showed it right there. Here comes fourth down.
And that's what's something that is missing from Marshall. That's not something that Anderson did. You got to be mobile. You got to have something out of that, a threat as a running quarterback. And I think Can certainly can do it. They maybe instructed him not to, but boy, he took a hit from Quentin Andrews, who had 15 tackles. Quentin Andrews against Colorado. Big time hitter.
4th and 2. Marshall still trying to find the end zone. They've had a couple long drives. 16 and 19 play drives and no points. Flag is thrown. Here's Edwards on the carry. And he's shut down shy of the marker at the line of scrimmage.
Legal formation on the offense. Only 6 players on the line of scrimmage. Penalties decline. First down, West Virginia.
So West Virginia takes over on downs. Morty Ivy. Boy, have their linebackers been awesome today. Ivy, Williams, and Thomas, left to right, have made the plays, and they expect to make the plays. The linemen have set them up pretty well.
Haven't seen much of Laser, who played quite a bit in the absence of Reed Williams. A young player, should be good. But J.T. Thomas and Holmes, another guy played a little bit. Reed Williams, Ivy, Goldburn, another one. They have some of the best core of linebackers in this team than you'll see anywhere in the country.
Well, this really has to give West Virginia a shot in the arm. You know, after a loss at East Carolina where they really dominated, lost that game 24-3. Heartbreaking overtime loss at Colorado. And I think it's safe to say they got a little swagger back here. Not all the way back, but it's a good start as they look down the rest of their schedule. Handoff to Mark Rogers, the freshman from Lawndale, California, for a short gain. But it's Big East play. Coming up next, Rutgers and Syracuse, and then you mentioned Auburn. That'll be a tough test for them.
That'll be tough, and Auburn is a team that really needs a win, and we'll see what happens between now and then. But no easy games, and you can see what's happened against Florida, Ole Miss, Southern Cal on Thursday night. College football, not for the faint of heart. And it's going to want to be in a topsy-turvy kind of season, much like 2007.
And I think this is fun. This is what a lot of people want to see. It's exciting. Here's Rogers on the carry and a big gain across the 30. Rogers upended at the 37-yard line. Rogers runs a 10.5 100 meters. He was clocked at that, 4th best in the entire state of California coming out of high school.
He had 2,300 yards his senior season. He runs a lot like a Divine. You know, his style is very similar, makes his cuts at full speed. Not a big guy, 5'9", 185, but he's got a couple of touchdowns rushing this year, and they think he could certainly be special. And when he comes in, you really don't, there's not much of a drop-off.
Well, they're glad to have him. He originally committed to Portland State out of high school, stayed home for a year, and that opened up the door to other schools, including West Virginia. And they offered him, and they're glad to have him. Nice guy behind the likes of Devine and Sanders. And he's hit this time, and he's dropped for a loss back at the 36-yard line. Ashton Hall, the junior strong safety, on the play. Hall, a guy that started 7 games a year ago, backing up Aaron Johnson this year.
Well, Sammy Marone, the tight end, just pancaked the Marshall player. Wow.
Yeah, there's been hitting going on. A lot of it we see out on the periphery, out in the open field, but down on the line of scrimmage, a lot of hitting as well. You'd expect it from these two rivals. Second down. Brown on the keeper. Open field running, and Brown has some room. Into Marshall territory. Brown to the 33, and he's upended right there. Tackle made from behind by Ahmed Shakur, the freshman cornerback, but he looked a little bit like Noel Devine in terms of ad-libbing his way through some trouble.
You know, Kellen Harris, linebacker, had 2 shots at him and missed, whiffed on both opportunities. You know, he caught him coming and caught him going. And you see, watch, number 35, Jerry Brown's going one way. 35 misses him there. Now watch, he gets up and misses him a second time. That's got to be frustrating. He's a good runner. And Jared Brown is out to clear, trying to get a little help downfield blocking. but a nice run by the backup quarterback.
44 yards later, first down at the 29 of Marshall. Brown's done a nice job in relief of White. Hand off to Rogers. Rogers picking his way to the outside, and he's knocked down at the 24-yard line. 5 yards on that carry. Ashton Hall again on the tackle. He's kind of in the same mold as a Devine, 5'9", about 185. Those small backs kind of fit into that spread offense.
Coming into this game, Trey, West Virginia had 110 plays on the ground, 67 plays through the air. Rushing, they averaged 5.8 yards per, passing 6.8 per. You know, I think there was predominantly running success today, but it shows that they are throwing the ball a little bit more, and they did have some success throwing today.
474 yards of total offense. Final 2 minutes here for Morgantown. Rogers again running left. Rogers a seam to the 10. And they have a first and goal from there. He showed a burst right there, Renee. He turned it into another gear when he got past the line of scrimmage. Mike Dent, the center, with a good block.
He gets to the second level very quickly into the defensive backfield. Good cut, cuts at full speed, and he's going to come. You can see right here, cuts off a block, stand check with a good block, 62. Good kick out block there, and he's cutting off at full speed, making good moves and running downhill. Boy, a good run by Rogers.
Hall again on the tackle. Over 2,300 yards rushing as a senior. Where you at? That's a lot of running. And they like his future at West Virginia. We get the carry here, slanting right and down to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal from that point as we near the 1 minute mark. For Marshall, it's been disappointing. It has to be, coming off a great win at Southern Miss. A reality check here against a good football team.
But, you know, they pick up and they go back to, you know, what they have an opportunity to do. And, you know, next they play Cincinnati. Possibility that could be a win for them, or certainly a winnable game. UAB, Houston, East Carolina. It doesn't get any easier. They finish up the season against UCF, Rice, and Tulsa. But again, they've played well. They played well against Wisconsin and lost. They beat Southern Miss last week, and they certainly have the weapons and the talent to play with all of those schools.
Jared Brown will take a knee here. The final 25 seconds for Morgantown. The pressure off for the time being for the Mountaineers. A game they had to have, and they get it in convincing fashion.
The whole Mountaineer nation needed this win. You know, the team needed it for confidence. The fans needed it to feel good about themselves again after a couple of tough losses. Coaching staff, Bill Stewart, I can't think of anybody who deserved it more so than he did. And Mark Snyder, you get a good look at him right there. There will be better days ahead for the Thundering Herd.
Several stars in this game for Coach Stewart. Noel Devine, 125 yards rushing. They amassed 493 yards of total offense. And it was a tight game in the first half. They led it 14-3 at half. That botched field goal attempt by Marshall, I think, really turned the tide in the Mountaineers' favor, and they didn't look back from that point.
Yeah, it kind of sucked the air out of Marshall that they got down there and did not get a reward for their efforts. And it certainly, and then from there, Patrick White and company just took over. And what a display from Patrick White, coming away with a 24-point lead. Don't think that injury is serious. I think they just rested him. Want to get a good look at Jared Brown. So confident that the defense could hold. And holding Marshall, I got to say, holding Marshall to 3 points in spite of everything that's happened, Coach Stewart and the staff